The following is a presentation of Wareham Gatemen Baseball, brought to you by the Gatemen Baseball Network in conjunction with the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Last summer, the Wareham Gatemen had one of their most successful seasons in franchise history.
Skied out to left field. This ball is way back. See you later. Colton Shaver.
2-1 pitch. That is rocketed out to right field. Back goes the right fielder. That one's gone. An absolute bomb to right field for Gavin Sheets.
He swung on and hit out towards center field. Bartosik on the move. Kind of got turned around. He's at the wall. Scaling the wall. He reaches up and makes the catch.
But despite their regular season success, the 2016 Gatemen were sent packing after the first round of the CCBL playoffs.
Is this ball fair? It is! Brom comes in to score the game's tying run. McKinnon comes in as well. Bourne has walked off, and Wareham's season is over.
Now, a new season and a fresh start in Wareham. College baseball's finest are coming from all over the country in pursuit of the Gatemen's 8th Cape Cod Baseball League Championship.
3-2 pitch. Metz bombs one to right field. Back goes the right fielder. It's gone. Robbie Metz, his second home run of the season.
The 1-2 pitch from Canine coming in, swung on and missed, and the Gatemen win their third straight game here at Spillane Field.
Fly ball deep right field. Pompey's under it. He makes the catch. Throws to the plate. McIver puts the tag down on the runner, and he's out. Double play. What a play by Pompey.
It's Wareham Gatemen Baseball, and you're listening to it live on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
104 years of baseball history here at Eldridge Park in Orleans, Massachusetts. You're listening to Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network. I'm Connor Federico, joined alongside Jacob Toby today, and we will hear from our Claudia Chakamian and Sam Corman in just a bit. Last night, the Wareham Gatemen, they lost 6-2 to a division rival, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, and they're facing another bird here tonight. It's the Firebirds. So
many birds.
The bird mascots across the Cape Cod Baseball League. So we jump from Wareham playing at home at Spillane Field yesterday. They lost 6-2, and now they're here at Orleans. But looking back at yesterday, 4-run loss. The Gatemen got some runs together. What ultimately did them in?
Well, now Wareham is 0-2 versus the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. That's not a good sign in your division rival. Well, the one good thing was Joe Matulovic. He was really good. 5 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk rather. And his fastball command, I was really impressed with. His secondary stuff, which going into the game we weren't really sure about, that was there as well. So we had a good first start here on the Cape. It was Grant Wolfram who had major issues for the game and pitched 2 1/3 innings, let up 3 runs, 6 hits, 3 earned runs. That is, he let up a couple more runs that were not earned there. He was lucky that John Topa in left field gunned down Tyler Frank at the plate to end the inning. In one of those innings, or else damage would have been worse. Another run would have scored. Tyler Frank would have scored that one. Sam Nepiarski, we saw his growing pains here in the Cape Cod Baseball League with his bad throw over to first base. That led to men getting on base and another run later on in the game. But in the top of the lineup, Lockridge, Shadid, McIver, 0 for 9. McIver had 2 walks and a run scored, but still no hits from your top 3 guys. It's just not going to get it done.
After that loss, it puts the Gatemen on a 3-game losing streak going into tonight. A guy who played pretty well yesterday against the Harbor Hawks was John Topa. He had an extra base hit. It was the first time we saw somebody hit a ball out to the wall in center field at Spillane Field. So he's leading the Gatemen in batting average right now. What is he doing right that the Gatemen can emulate his success?
Well, I just mentioned his superb play from left field, gunning down Tyler Frank at the plate. That's the first time we've seen that this season, a play where an outfielder throws out a runner at home. Of course, he's leading the game in the batting average, like you said, at 444. He's got a couple RBIs. He's got a double. That one was absolutely smoked out to left to right center field, rather. Haven't seen a ball hit that far yet. And he's a great defensive player. He's really athletic. It's nice to see him at the bottom of the lineup so you can get some speed, some maybe a little bit more power down there as well. And there's also less pressure when you're hitting down in the lineup. He's hitting 7th usually, and that's less pressure, so he's not thinking as does he have to produce as much, even though he's riding a 5-game hit streak, which basically says he's hitting every single game he's played in. So he's just on fire right now. I like what the kid brings from UConn.
Topa is hitting in the 5-hole tonight behind Luke Bonfield, who's in the cleanup batting order. So Topa and his Gatemen tonight, they're here at Eldridge Park in Orleans, as I said before, and they're playing the Firebirds. The Gatemen have a 2-4 record, but the Firebirds, they are the worst team in the league right now. They're 1-5. They haven't won at home yet. They're 0-3. And against the West Division that Wareham resides in, they're 0-3 again. So what's been going wrong with Orleans?
Well, they lost yesterday 2-1 to Yarmouth Dennis. The night before, they scored 9 runs. They won that game 9-3 versus Falmouth. They wish they could have had some of those runs, those 9 runs, split between the 2 games because they just had no offense yesterday versus YD. YD manager Scott Pickler. There was 25-mile-per-hour winds in that game yesterday. He calls for a bunt in the 7th inning. That scored a run, and that did the job. That did them in versus YD. They couldn't get any runs on the board. The offense has not scored above 3 runs in any game this season. The offense, like the Gatemen, it's an issue for this Orleans Firebirds baseball team.
Well, we can only speculate all we want before first pitch, which we expect to be in about 24 minutes from now, 6:36 p.m. on the East Coast. For Jacob Toby, I'm Connor Federico. Now let's send it to Sam Corman, who's got some updates for us. Sam.
And welcome to today's broadcast of Wareham Gatemen Baseball here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. I am your host for today, Sam Corman. We'll get you right back to the game action with Connor Federico and Jacob Toby. That's starting at 7 p.m. here on Eastern Time. But first, we'll go over today's pitching matchup. For the Orleans Firebirds, it's going to be Kevin Smith getting the call for his second start of the season. He got the call on opening day as well, the Georgia Bulldog coming out here. And that first start, he struggled a little bit. A 6-1 loss for the Firebirds to the Brewster Whitecaps. And Smith threw 5 innings. His command was there with 52 strikes and 20 balls, but he was a little too predictable, giving up 3 earned runs en route to a losing decision. The Georgia Bulldog looks to rebound against the Gatemen, a Gatemen team that's trying to snap a 3-game losing streak today. For the Gatemen, it's Mason Fioli taking the hill for his second start. Also got the call on opening day for the Gatemen, and it was also a rough outing for him. He threw just 2 innings. The lefty was a losing pitcher in that 3-0 loss to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks back last week. Fioli gave up 3 earned runs on 4 hits, struck out 2, and walked 3, also hit a batter. Fioli was the AAC Freshman Pitcher of the Year and is eager to bounce back here today against Orleans. With that, we will send it to the field where Claudia Chakamian is with our head coach, Don Snedden.
Thanks, Sam. I'm here with head coach Don Snedden. So, Coach, we didn't get to see you guys take batting practice or anything today. So, what did you guys work on back at Spillane Field?
Well, again, it's just trying to get a rhythm, trying to get create game-like conditions and everything else. It's tough to do that. New yard, wind blowing in, 434 feet center field, so I doubt we're going to get one out there. So we just talked about that and just try to be able to put the ball in play. And, again, timing, productive outs, things we said from day one.
Now, you said a lot about how good the pitching is here in the Cape League. What do you know about Orleans pitching, and how can you capitalize on what you know about them tonight?
Well, they're sort of like we are. They're 1-5. We have one more win in that, but they're struggling to find their identity also. So they have guys coming in. We have guys coming in. You just don't know right now. Every day it can be a brand new club. They could have 4 new players in there that didn't play last night. And last night when we did play ice, we got the same pitcher that threw against us last time, the same rotation, and he did a good job. So I'm tired of him. I don't need to see him the rest of summer.
So you guys have dropped your past 3 now. So are the guys still motivated and eager to get that win, or do they feel good?
Yeah, it's a long season. Again, our real emphasis is on development for them. We want to win, but it's not on winning. If I would manage different if this was about winning every single game and doing that, but our main responsibility is to develop these players and to get them ready for their college. And with the result of that, you win ball games. That's still part of the equation. But the real thing is just getting these guys ready to go, giving them an opportunity. Otherwise, we just play the same 9 guys every time and not put anybody else in.
Now, when we spoke earlier in the season, you said you wanted to see those strikes, especially those first pitch strikes from your pitchers. Are you being able to see that more as well, or working on that with them?
Well, again, that's just something they have to do. First pitch strikes are important, but now we're at the point where you just can't throw it over the middle of the plate on the first pitch because it'll get whacked. So it's got to be a quality first pitch strike. And it can't just be a fastball. It has to be an off-speed pitch or whatever with that, because these hitters are way too smart. So they're learning that. You know, a couple of pitchers said, well, I got first pitch strike. Yeah, but it was a home run, so that's not what we're after.
Great. Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Back to you, Sam.
Thank you, Claudia. On a completely different note, the Gatemen were pretty involved in the community this morning and yesterday. Yesterday they were down in Mattapoisett at the center school, but today they were at Rochester Memorial School, and I traveled down there as the Gatemen players were welcomed by the elementary school students down there. Andy Shadid, Ben Olson, Justin Glover, John Topa, Mason Fioli, and Andrew Ryan had the chance to read to students in grades K through 3. Interestingly enough, Andrew Ryan grew up in Rochester and attended Rochester Memorial years ago. I spoke to Andrew about his opportunity to return to his roots. How cool is it, kind of like a role model for these kids over here?
You know, it's pretty cool. They all look up to you, and they want to be in your position someday, and they want to get the most out of you. I think it's important for us to be able to instill something in them and give them idea of what it's like to be in our shoes.
You went to school here, so is it cool to kind of like come back and feel like the big guy?
Yeah, you know, it's pretty funny, like walking down these hallways. You know, you start to get memories and stuff of back when you were in grade school. And I think I never thought I'd be in the position I am now, but it was a lot of fun back then. And, you know, I recognize most of this growing up in this town. And it's a lot of fun.
Awesome, and you signed autographs too. Like, is that new for you, or are you used to that?
You know, I'm used to that. Get that at school every now and then. Used to it my freshman summer. Signed autograph for all the kids there, so it's a pretty cool experience.
It was a really fun time going out to that school out in Rochester this morning. I really enjoyed filming the players and the kids, as that full story is online at the Gatemen YouTube channel. That's Gatemen Broadcasting on YouTube. And we'll take you around the Cape really quick before we go to another break. Yesterday featured 4 makeup games around the league after the New England rain washed away 10 Cape League games over this weekend, so the league is trying to scramble to get all those games made up as early as possible. We saw the Gatemen lose 6-2 last night at Spillane Field to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Connor and Jacob touched on that quite a bit. Elsewhere, the Falmouth Commodores defeated the Harwich Mariners 10-7. Falmouth outfielder Marty Beckina out of the Michigan State notched 5 RBIs and scored 3 times in Falmouth's second win of the season. The Chatham Anglers won their 3rd consecutive game with an 8-4 victory over the Cotuit Kettleers. South Carolina outfielder Jake Olson hit his 2nd home run of the season as the Anglers continue to roll on. These Orleans Firebirds lost last night to the YD Red Sox by a final score of 2-1. YD pitcher Chris Bubich from Stanford was lights out, tossing 6 innings while surrendering just 1 earned run on 4 hits and striking out 4 on the way. On the slate for today, June 20th, here in the Cape League, all 10 teams are back in action on this Tuesday night. Wareham here in Orleans, but there's also 4 more games to look for. The Bourne Braves traveling to Cotuit to take on the Kettleers. That game's currently in action. We'll get more on that as the game moves on. Brewster and YD are battling out in Yarmouth, and Falmouth is at Harwich, and Hyannis is in Chatham tonight. Let's take a look at the standings early on in the season, but each game getting more and more important as we move later and later throughout this summer. In the East, the Chatham Anglers sit on top of that division at 4-1. Yarmouth Dennis just a half game behind at 3-1. Brewster sitting at 2-2. Harwich with that tie early on in the season, they're at 2-3-1. Orleans is in last at 1-5. And in the West division, the Cotuit Kettleers are at 4-1, leading the way. Bourne Braves have played just 3 games. They're sitting at 2-1 in second place. The Hyannis Harbor Hawks are third at a 2-2-1 record. Wareham tied with Falmouth for last place at 2-4. We will send it to a quick break here on the Gatemen Pregame Show, presented by South Coast Health.
When you're sick or injured, you want care when and where it's convenient for you. South Coast Health Urgent Care has 4 locations: Fairhaven, Wareham, and now in Seekonk and Dartmouth. You can view wait times and even check in online at southcoast.org/urgent care. Choose the time and location that's best for you. We'll even remind you when it's time to come in, and walk-ins are always welcome. Urgent care that exists to meet your needs. More than you expected? That's more than medicine. Check in at southcoast.org/urgent care.
Registration is now open for the 2017 Wareham Gatemen Youth Clinics. The instruction clinics are open to boys and girls between ages 4 and 15. The clinics are a great opportunity to meet and learn from some of the best collegiate players in the country. Clinics are held Monday through Friday, depending on the player's off day. For more information and to sign up your young ball player, visit www.gatemen.org.
All-Star Game Weekend starts with a celebrity softball game on July 21st at McKeon Park in Hyannis. Come watch Jason Veritek, Bill Lee, Nancy Kerrigan, Scott Zolak, and other celebrities play ball in support of the Cape Cod Baseball League and Spalding Rehabilitation Hospital of Cape Cod. Gates open at 4 p.m. For more information and to buy tickets, go to allstarcapecod.org. That's allstarcapecod.org.
Registration is now open for the 2017 Wareham Gatemen High School Clinics. These programs are run by the Gatemen coaching staff with a focus on exposing high school area players to the college game. To sign up for either the hitting, pitching, or catching camps, visit www.gatemen.org for more information.
Welcome back to Gatemen Pregame, presented by South Coast Health. My name's Sam Corman. We'll get it back to the game action in just about 15 minutes with Connor Federico and Jacob Toby. We'll run through the starting lineups really quick. First, for the visiting Wareham Gatemen today, playing DH and leading off today, Brandon Lockridge. He's been the leadoff hitter for most of the games this year. Hitting second in center field, Tanner Dodson. Hitting third and doing the catching today is Willie McIver. Batting cleanup and hit in right field is Luke Bonfield. And hitting fifth in left field is John Topa. Hitting sixth, playing first base, is Blake Sable. Hitting seventh at shortstop is Nate Fosnot. Hitting eighth and playing second base is Robbie Metz. And rounding out the order for the Wareham Gatemen today at third base is Ben Baird. And for the home Orleans Firebirds, it's going to be Lars Newtbar playing first base and leading off. Jimmy Herron in center field, he'll hit second. Brandon Riley is in right field, he'll hit third. Kevin Stroshine is in left field, he'll hit cleanup. Steven Scott will DH, he'll hit fifth. Cole Austin at third base, he'll hit sixth. Cesar Salazar is catching, he will hit seventh. And Romy Gonzalez is at second base, he will hit eighth. And Jeff Houtby is at shortstop, he will hit ninth. Doing the pitching for Wareham, Mason Fioli, and for the Firebird, it's Kevin Smith. We will now send it back to the field for Claudia Chakamian, as she is with Wareham left fielder John Topa.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with John Topa. So, John, pretty good night for you overall last night. But what would you say you guys really need to work on in forms of your hitting?
I think we just need to, someone needs to come through that clutch hit. We've been doing a decent job getting guys on base. Not a great job, but once we get the guy in second, we really need to try to dial it in. And it seems like every game in this league is like the race to one run, just with how good the arms are. So we just someone needs to come through with that big hit.
Now, we didn't get to see you guys take BP today. So what was the main thing you guys worked on?
We focused a lot on hitting breaking balls because everyone in this league is going to throw hard, so you need to try to find ways to beat them other ways. And sometimes a bad breaking ball can be the easiest pitch to hit, so we worked a lot on that and just like looking for fastballs, but just adjusting to breaking balls and trying to hit them hard.
Stunning keeps talking about how good the pitching is overall in the Cape League. So what do you know about Orleans pitching, and how can you guys kind of capitalize to get those key hits?
I don't know anything too specific. I think they're throwing a lefty tonight, I saw. And we have a lot of righties in our lineup, so that should play pretty well for us. But you don't try to get into anything too specific as far as the pitching goes, just because everyone in the league is so good. You just kind of take it night by night and try to pay attention when you're not up, and when you're in the box, just make sure that you're locking in on what they're trying to do. So it's just a night to night thing, just trying to always stay competing.
And now you guys have dropped the past 3, so how are you guys trying to stay motivated to try and get this win, at least hopefully tonight?
Yeah, we want to definitely try to get out first. It's kind of been like a reoccurring theme that's been hurting us. We're always playing from behind, it seems like, so it'd be nice to get a run or two in the first couple innings, and then let our pitching take over and be in the driver's seat a little bit.
Great. Thanks, John. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Claudia. The Gatemen Baseball Network would like to remind you you can contact us anytime by emailing gatemen@pressbox.org. That's gatemen@pressbox.org. Please feel free to send us your questions or comments, and we'll make sure to address them as soon as possible. Make sure you're keeping up with all the Gatemen action 24/7 by following the Wareham Gatemen on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud. All of those, lots of good material on there. SoundCloud, the highlights, YouTube live game action each and every night, and on Twitter for live game updates. We'd now like to welcome today's Matt Feld. It's Jacob Toby filling in for Matt. And Matt, or Jacob, some player transactions recently for the Gatemen. It was UConn pitcher Sam Nepiarski being let go yesterday.
Yeah, well, Nepiarski was let go. That was the big news. Activated is Griffin Roberts out of Wake Forest. Should be interesting to see how he pitches. He was a closer for Wake Forest, and we'll see if he gets some starts down here or he comes out of the bullpen the rest of the time. Obviously, Brett Canine, if you haven't heard, Cal State Fullerton lost to Oregon State 6-5, and then in the elimination game 6-4 to Florida State. So they are eliminated out of the College World Series, and Canine will be coming to Wareham in a couple days. On Instagram, Canine saying, "What a journey, glad to be a part of a well-deserved opportunity with this team. For my brothers that are leaving this year, I want to wish them the best of luck as they pursue other dreams. For those coming back, the road to Omaha begins now. Hashtag College World Series." So it should be good to see Canine, a fresh face, a familiar face for the Gatemen fans in Wareham. Jaron Duran out of Long Beach State should give the Gatemen some infield depth. He's expected to be coming soon as well. And Oregon State will not play until Friday in the College World Series. Stephen Kwan, Jordan Britton from Oregon State should be coming in to the Wareham Gatemen as soon as Oregon State loses. When will that be? It may not be ever, because they are so good this year. They went 56-4 in the regular season, and they just keep on winning.
Absolutely. That Oregon State team, one of the best we've seen in college baseball in years. What else is going on in the World Series? You got anything else going on in the World Series, Jacob?
That's all I had.
Okay, well, we'll go to break here before the national anthem and first pitch coming up on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Sick or injured, you want care when and where it's convenient for you. South Coast Health Urgent Care has 4 locations: Fairhaven, Wareham, and now in Seekonk and Dartmouth. You can view wait times and even check in online at southcoast.org/urgent care. Choose the time and location that's best for you. We'll even remind you when it's time to come in, and walk-ins are always welcome. Urgent care that exists to meet your needs. More than you expected? That's more than medicine. Check in at southcoast.org/urgent care.
Registration is now open for the 2017 Wareham Gatemen Youth Clinics. The instruction clinics are open to boys and girls between ages 4 and 15. The clinics are a great opportunity to meet and learn from some of the best collegiate players in the country. Clinics are held Monday through Friday, depending on the player's off day. For more information and to sign up your young ball player, visit www.gatemen.org.
All-Star Game Weekend starts with a celebrity softball game on July 21st at McKeon Park in Hyannis. Come watch Jason Veritek, Bill Lee, Nancy Kerrigan, Scott Zolak, and other celebrities play ball in support of the Cape Cod Baseball League and Spalding Rehabilitation Hospital of Cape Cod. Gates open at 4 p.m. For more information and to buy tickets, go to allstarcapecod.org. That's allstarcapecod.org.
Registration is now open for the 2017 Wareham Gatemen High School Clinics. These programs are run by the Gatemen coaching staff with a focus on exposing high school area players to the college game. To sign up for either the hitting, pitching, or catching camps, visit www.gatemen.org for more information.
Welcome back to the Gatemen Pregame Show presented by South Coast Health, as we are just about ready for first pitches here in Orleans, but the national anthem going to come up first here. And we'll send it down to the field for Connor Federico and Jacob Toby, who are on the call today.
Thank you very much, Sam. It's a beautiful night for baseball here at Eldridge Park in Orleans, Massachusetts. It's going to be a great night, and we're about to carry the national anthem with you in just a second. out to center field tonight, 434 feet out to center field. Jacob, it's going to be a really interesting night for some of these hitters as left field and right field are pretty short.
Yeah, the wind's actually blowing in too, right from center field, coming in from right center field, so it should be interesting to see how far the ball flies tonight. But this park, just one of the better ones here on the Cape. It's so beautiful. The sun sets down the first base line. You got fans all over the field. There's a big hill down the first base line that a lot of kids sit on, and it's just a great atmosphere, and the field is in tip-top shape. One of the better atmospheres you're going to experience here on the Cape. Excited for you guys to experience it for the first time.
It's absolutely fantastic so far. Orleans known for this atmosphere, as you've said. Coaches right now exchanging lineup cards here at home plate. Mickey Garcia will be our home plate umpire tonight. James Dion will be on right side. He'll man first base. And on the left side, it'll be Rick Emerson. So Rick Emerson and James Dion, Jacob, you just said during the break that these guys have been following around, sort of, and they're going over ground rules right now before we get to the national anthem. Wareham 3-1 versus Orleans last year. And in fact, one of the losses that Orleans had to Wareham last year, today's starter, Kevin Smith, pitched in. And it was on June 19th, 2016, 366 days later, rather. It's June 20th, 2017, but in that last year's performance, Smith, he took the loss in 3 innings of relief work. He pitched 3 runs, but 0 of them were earned. He had 3 errors behind him in the infield, and that's what led to his demise. So this team, the Wareham Gatemen, were 3-1 against Orleans last year. What do you have to do to get a team's number like that?
Well, you got to score the runs, and obviously, you know, we've been talking constantly about this offense and how it's struggled the past couple games, and surely they're going to look to beef up Kevin Smith today. It's not Kevin Smith, who was YD's playoff MVP last year when they won the championship. It's a different Kevin Smith out of Georgia. He's a rising junior, and be interesting to see how he does in his second Cape League stint. And it's just going to be, you know, a great day for baseball here. The weather's perfect, and we're just about ready.
Well, his opponent tonight on the mound, it's going to be Mason Fioli for the Wareham Gatemen. In his last outing, it was opening day against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. He had 2 innings pitched, let up 3 earned runs on 4 hits, and the killer for him was the 3 walks. We talk constantly about how the key for pitchers in this league, if you want to be successful, avoid the walks. So how can he bounce back today?
First pitch strikes, it was a big issue for him. He walked, I think, the first couple batters he faced, maybe, or walked the first one. So control your pitches, and you should be good to go. I guess I expected a bit too much out of the freshman coming in. He was, you know, obviously UConn's main starter, their main horse, their main ace, but freshmen coming into the Cape Cod Baseball League are going to struggle, and they're going to see those growing pains, but he should have learned from opening day, and it was really that 1/3 inning that really, hurt the Gatemen. And other than that, I think Fioli today will bounce back and have a better game.
Fioli, not just any old freshman. He was highly touted coming out of high school. He had 2015 and 2016 USA Today first team All-USA to his name. And the Orleans Firebirds, they're taking the field now. We're just about ready for the national anthem, and we'll turn it over to the PA announcer here at Eldridge Park in Orleans. And you are listening to the national anthem of the United States of America.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright
beautiful voice, a beautiful anthem, and a truly beautiful night here at Eldridge Park in Orleans, Massachusetts. This is one of 2 nights that the Gatemen will come and visit the Orleans Firebirds here. And we're getting tonight kicked off. It's Kevin Smith who's going to be throwing the balls on the mound for the Firebirds tonight. He'll face a lineup for the Gatemen that goes like this. Brandon Lockridge, he'll DH tonight after several stints at second base and lead off. Tanner Dodson, he'll be playing center field wearing 28 in blue. He'll bat second. Batting third, Willie McIver. He's been batting there for most of the season and has had some success. The only home run on this Gatemen team this season. Luke Bonfield will hit in the cleanup spot wearing number 5 in blue. He's still looking for his signature game as a Gateman for 2017. John Topa wearing number 14. He's been batting 7th a lot, as Jacob alluded to in the pregame show. He's batting 5th tonight, getting moved up by Don Snedden. Batting 6th, Blake Sable. He'll wear number 4 in blue and take care of the first baseman's duties on the right side of the field. Nate Fosnot will bat 7th, wear number 11. He'll be followed by his George Washington teammate and middle infield partner, Robbie Metz, who's playing second base. Ben Baird will round out the lineup, batting 9th and wearing number 3. The pitcher tonight for the Gatemen is Mason Fioli, and the head coach of the Gatemen is Don Snedden. So a bit of a lineup change, Jacob. What do you think?
Well, with Topa going from 7 to 5, you look for him to maybe... Well, you look for Lockridge and Dodson to get on base first, and maybe that's kind of what you want to see then from Topa, who can drive those guys in. Luke Bonfield, he's looking still for his first hit of the season, so that would be great for him if he got that done today.
366 days ago, the Wareham Gatemen defeated the Orleans Firebirds by a score of 6-5 at Spillane Field in Wareham, Massachusetts. We're getting tonight kicked off with Brandon Lockridge, who's got the bat in his hand now, and he will lead off this game for the Wareham Gatemen. He'll face Kevin Smith, the opening day starter and returner from the 2016 season. First pitch underway, and it's a called strike. Fastball on the inside corner to Lockridge. We are underway here at Eldridge Park. Lockridge at Troy this year, 56 starts, 344 was his batting average. He hits a ground ball to the shortstop now, fielded by Hotby, and he throws on to Newbar for the first out of the inning. So Lockridge goes down, and that will bring up Tanner Dodson.
Excited to see Tanner Dodson in the lineup today. He is 3 for 7, a couple walks. We saw him pitch against Chatham. He did pretty well. This kid's just an athlete. I mean, he's very strong. He's very athletic, and the Gatemen surely need him in the lineup every day.
Here is Dodson, who you were just alluding to. He shows bunt, but pulls it back. The ball's in the dirt. Kevin Smith, tonight's pitcher, comes from the Georgia Bulldogs. He had 12 starts and 8 more relief appearances this year. 4.87 ERA, 5-5 record, and threw 67 strikeouts. Here's the 1-0, and it's called for a strike. Count goes even to Dodson. From Jesuit High School in Elk Grove, California, was drafted in the 31st round of the 2015 MLB draft by the Mets, but elected to go to school. The 1-1 is swung on and fouled away late by Dodson, so the 1-2 will be coming up. Good command early here for Kevin Smith. He's working the strike zone.
Yeah, he is. He's a big boy. There's a lot of big pitchers this year here on the Cape.
So we're going to get the 1-2 to Dodson in just a second. We've seen him hit from the left side of the plate for the most part this year. He is a switch hitter batting on his right today. He takes a ball inside, and the count goes 2-2. It's evened up here at Eldridge. Great crowd on hand tonight. There's no true bleachers on the first base side of Eldridge, but there's a big hill. Plenty of room for families to bring lawn chairs and sit out. The 2-2 is inside, same spot as it was before, and the count will go full with 1 out here and nobody on. 0-0 ball game between the Wareham Gatemen and the Orleans Firebirds. These two teams just about as far apart as you can get in the Cape Cod Baseball League. 3-2, this one is hit towards the left side. It's picked up by Austin. Throwing on a first, and it is in time. Tanner Dodson is retired for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, it is as far away possible probably between two teams. Wareham technically not even on Cape Cod, and then Orleans all the way out here, far, far east, and it's a long drive.
This will bring up Willie McIver wearing number 17 in blue. You're hearing a lot of wind tonight through your computer, and we apologize, but It's a beautiful night, just a slight breeze coming out of center field. And McIver takes a ball high, and we have a 1-0 count now. First time Smith has not thrown a first pitch strike in the 3 batters he's faced so far. Back-to-back California natives in this lineup. Willie McIver is from Pleasant Hill, and he swings and misses on an off-speed pitch. The count goes 1-1. College Park High School, Pleasant Hill, California. That's where Willie McIver hails from. 2015 perfect game, honorable mention, high school All-American. He had a great year for the Washington Huskies, hitting .292 with 2 home runs. McIver swings and misses on strike 2. Another off-speed pitch there from Kevin Smith, and the count will go to 1-2. Pitcher working ahead quickly, dominating these counts so far. McIver steps in, does his pre-pitch ritual, and the 1-2. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. McIver doesn't like it, but he's headed to the dugout anyway. Kevin Smith and the Orleans Firebirds, they go 1-2-3 here in the top of the first, and they'll try to get on the scoreboard first in the bottom of this frame. You're listening to Wareham Gatemen Baseball.
When you're sick or injured, you want care when and where it's convenient for you. South Coast Health Urgent Care has 4 locations: Fairhaven, Wareham, and now in Seekonk and Dartmouth. You can view wait times and even check in online at southcoast.org/urgent care. Choose the time and location that's best for you. We'll even remind you when it's time to come in, and walk-ins are always welcome. Urgent care that exists to meet your needs. More than you expected? That's more than medicine. Check in at southcoast.org/urgent care.
The Down East Lobster Roll combos are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Bottom of the first frame here at Eldridge Park, Orleans, Massachusetts. Wareham Gatemen Baseball. I'm Connor Federico, joined alongside Jacob Toby. We'll have an Around the Cape update from Sam Corman in just a couple of innings, and then we'll hear from Claudia Chikamian, who will interview the Gatemen head coach, Don Sneddon. Mason Fioli on the mound tonight for the Gatemen. What's the scouting report on him, Jacob?
Well, obviously he struggled versus, we talked about that in the pregame, he struggled versus Hyannis in his first start. But this guy has a lot of pedigree coming over from UConn. He had a great season there. He's a lefty, which obviously any lefty pitcher is going to be looked at a little bit differently. And he's 6'2", 184, and his fastball range is 88 to 92. His changeup is an outstanding offering and a good bite on a slider too. But he's got that high leg kick, which it's really cool to watch because not a lot of pitchers use that anymore, and it's just a fun thing to have. And you know, we'll see if he can do better than his first start, to say the least, but it's growing pains. It's the Cape Cod Baseball League. That's what it's about.
Doing the catching tonight for Fioli will be Willie McIver, who's made most of his starts at third base this season. The normal catcher has been Jake Anchia, the catcher from Nova Southeastern University. McIver from Washington taking his spot tonight, and Anchia will sit on the bench. So we'll see how that affects the Gatemen pitchers, not dealing to a fairly new catcher. McIver's had some time. As Fioli's first pitch is inside to Lars Newtbar from El Segundo High School in El Segundo, California. Plenty of California guys tonight here on the East Coast. Newtbar, a league MVP in football in 2013 and 2014. And he takes a called strike on the outside corner. Count goes 1-2. Fioli evens the count back up. Newtbar also led his team to the CIF semifinals in 2013. He's going to be a junior next year with the USC Trojans. Fioli high leg kick deals. This is a ground ball to the left side. It's picked up by Fosnot, the shortstop. It's throw in the dirt, and it is not in time. It's picked out of the dirt by Sabol, but Lars Newtbar will beat the throw, and suddenly the Firebirds have their first runner on.
Yeah, that was a tough play from Fosnot. It wasn't the hardest hit ball to the left side of the infield, but he tried to get it over. His throw was a bit short. It bounces to the first baseman, Sable, and it was just not in time.
Jimmy Herron is the new batter. Fosnot, difficult play, but it's going to be ruled an infield single for Lars Newtbar. Newbar not much of a threat to go. Not many career stolen bases with USC, although he was all Pac-12 first team this season. Fioli deals to Heron, and it's going to be called low for a ball. Count goes 1-0 to number 29 in white tonight, and red sleeves, red helmets, red hats, or white hats rather, for the Orleans Firebirds. The Wareham Gatemen are in their road blues with red numbers, blue hats, and gray pants. Fioli is outside, so the count will go to 2-0. Jimmy Heron bats on the right side of the plate against this lefty Fioli. Heron throws with his left, however. Plenty of guys go back and forth in this Cape Cod Baseball League. You need to be able to be skilled on both sides.
Surely do.
Fioli deals. This one is lined. Fair ball along the left field line. Ben Baird couldn't get it. It's grabbed by Topa now, and Lars Newbar will hold up at second base. So it's a single along the left field line for Jimmy Heron, and 2 singles to lead off this inning against Mason Fioli.
And Jimmy Heron having a great start to the Cape League season, leading his team in batting average, RBIs. He's got a home run as well. Powers that one right past Baird at third. Baird tried to make a dive at it, but just too fast and too off to the left.
Fioli in a jam here early, and Jacob, if these were the Gatemen right now that was up, we'd probably be seeing a bunt out of their 3-hitter, but not exactly sure what the Orleans Firebirds dugout plans on doing here with Brandon Riley. The lefty batter faces the lefty Fioli right now. He shows bunt, and it is inside. He pulls it away. Count goes 1-0. Fioli, 2016 Rhode Island Gatorade Player of the Year. He was also the 2016 Providence Journal All-State Player of the Year and 2016 First Team Louisville Slugger High School All-American. Not just a normal freshman this year for UConn. He had 7 wins that led the team. Fioli deals, and this one is low. Riley was showing bunt again. Seems like the plan for the Gatemen is to send the first baseman Blake Sable to field the bunt, and he'll try to either throw it to the third baseman Baird, or hopefully the second baseman Metz will go and cover first base. So Fioli facing Riley here, who's trying to get down a bunt. The pitch is called for a strike. Riley pulls it back. The count goes to 2-1.
Sable really in on that infield. He's ready for it. If that is the case, though, and they want to go to first instead of third, Metz has to cover first base, the second baseman.
We saw them do that a couple nights ago against Falmouth. This was their plan, to send in the first baseman, and the second baseman nor the pitcher was there to cover. Fioli deals. This is a foul-tipped bunt that goes into McIver's glove, and the count goes to 2-2 now. Brandon Riley with the UNC Tar Heels this year hit .317, 7 home runs, 52 RBIs, and he has the speed to lay down a bunt and maybe get a base hit. He had 10 stolen bases, but he's one of your best hitters, all those great numbers. With 2-2 now, he's going to have to swing the bat instead of bring down a bunt. Sable is no longer guarding the first base line. Here's a ground ball to Fosnot, and he's going to have to eat it. The speed of Riley is just too much, and it's going to be a broken bat infield single, the same as the first at-bat against Lars Newbar. So really tough break. 2 infield singles so far for Mason Fioli. He doesn't even have a single out to his name in this bottom of the first.
Yeah, that's what really hurts. And now with the next batter coming up, the play has to be at home. Well, unless there's a double play possibility, and then you trade the run for 2 outs, which may be the best option.
Kevin Stroshine is the cleanup hitter for the Orleans Firebirds. He wears number 16, and he will take a called strike here on the inside corner. Not a big name school, but it is Division I. The Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles is where Stroshine comes from. 62 games with the Golden Eagles this year, 14 home runs, 60 RBIs, and an impressive .292 batting average. Fioli deals to Stroshine. It's in the dirt, but blocked by McIver. An impressive .511 slugging percentage, that performance for Stroshine this year led him to be a second-team All-Ohio Valley Conference pick. And he faces Fioli now, who's taking a sign from McIver, trying to get out of this bases loaded, no-out jam. Off speed, this one is hit to Baird, who throws it in to McIver. McIver on to first, in time, double play. What a great play by the Wareham Gatemen defense. They go 5-2-3. It's a double play, and Kevin Stroshine, the leadoff batter, grounds into a double play. But the Gatemen still aren't out of this inning. Runners on second and third. 2 outs now.
Yeah, you got to watch out now. Runner on third. You're still not out of it. Runner on second and third, excuse me. So that's 2 runners in scoring position. Fioli needs to retire the next one.
So Heron moves to third, Riley moves to second, but a run does not score for the Orleans Firebirds. The score is still 0-0. Steven Scott from Vanderbilt is up now, and he's going to try to drive in this first run of the game for Orleans. He's got 2 runners in scoring position and takes a called strike. Off-speed stuff from Fioli, so that really has to increase your confidence, a play like that from your defense.
Yeah, defense backing up Fioli there. Smart play by McIver behind the plate. He knew right to go to first after that one.
Great awareness by the catcher, and now he's calling the balls and strikes for Fioli. Kicks, fires, off speed, and out ahead of it and fouling it off is Steven Scott. A lefty-on-lefty matchup that should favor Fioli. The count is 0-2 in the pitcher's favor, so he is 1 strike away now from getting out of this bases loaded and no outs jam, which the Wareham Gatemen have done twice this season. By the way, it was Justin Montgomery both times in the Gatemen's 9-0 victory against Harwich last Thursday. Fioli takes a sign now. He's 1 pitch away from getting out of this jam, but he still has to go through Steven Scott. The pitch is inside, according to Mickey Garcia, tonight's home plate umpire. Scott missed 2 months of the Vanderbilt Commodores season this year. His sophomore year, he was hit in the face with a baseball. And now Fioli, who just finished his freshman year with the UConn Huskies, who just narrowly missed the NCAA tournament, he's going to deal 1-2. This one is grounded to the second baseman, Metz. Should be an easy play. On to first, and Mason Fioli is out of the bottom of the first inning. It's a 0-0 ball game on no runs, 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. It's 0-0. You're listening to Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1991, holds over 600 events nationwide for players ages 8 through 18, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, plus 400 have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Cape Cod Healthcare now offers Cape Cod residents and visitors convenient urgent medical care by emergency room trained physicians at the Fontaine Outpatient Center in Harwich and the Stoneman Outpatient Center in Sandwich. For sore throats and coughs, x-rays and splinting, suturing of lacerations, and much, much more, come to the Stoneman Outpatient Center at 2 Jan Sebastian Drive, just off of Exit 2 in Sandwich, or the Fontaine Outpatient Center at 525 Long Pond Drive, just off Exit 11 in Harwich. Both have extended evening and weekend hours, and both centers are staffed by emergency room physicians. No appointment or referral is necessary. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
It might be a 0-0 ball game, but it has been very exciting so far. The Wareham Gatemen in the top of the first, they went down 1-2-3, but the Orleans Firebirds, they were threatening. They had 3 runners on and no outs, and they couldn't find a way to get a single run in. Connor Federico and Jacob Toby with you today for this Cape Cod Baseball League action. It's a fantastic night, and Luke Bonfield will come up to the plate now. He was drafted by the Mets in 2014 in the 21st round. He'll face Kevin Smith here in the top of the second. He takes called strike, says Mickey Garcia. After Bonfield, we'll see John Topa hitting in the 5 spot for the first time this season, and then Blake Sable. After him, Nate Fosnot, Robbie Metz, Ben Baird, and then the top. Luke Bonfield takes a ball, and the count will go to 1-1. Bonfield trying to get something started for the Wareham Gatemen right now. He hasn't been very successful in his few at-bats since arriving on Sunday. Played in the Chatham doubleheader. He drives this one out to right center now. Under it is Heron, and he will make the play in mid-center field, and that will be the first out of the inning.
Well, here comes John Topa. It's going to be interesting to see if the lineup change fares well for him or if it doesn't. You know, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So we'll see if that stays true here.
John Topa, a few RBIs on the season. He's leading these Gatemen in hitting. First team All-State in Rhode Island, 2014, 2014, and 15 as a high schooler. He fouls this pitch off to the right and out of play towards where all the fans are sitting here on the hill along the first base side on a beautiful night at Eldridge Park in Orleans, Massachusetts. Count is 0-1. We're waiting on the second pitch of this at-bat from Kevin Smith, who comes from Dunwoody, Georgia, went to Dunwoody High School, was a 2015 perfect game All-American honorable mention. Kevin Smith deals, it's called a ball up high and pops out of the glove of the catcher, Salazar. Topa stands 6'0", 225 pounds, and he'll see the 1-1 from Smith. This is low in the dirt, and it gets by Salazar. So coming up, we have Blake Sable and Nate Fosnot. Those have been very good full-time roster guys. And Fosnot, he was a part-time roster guy and make the full-time roster.
He earned it.
Topa takes a ball high. Count will go 3-1. So what is it about Fosnot that the Gatemen coaches decided, hey, welcome to the team. You're here for the whole summer if you want to be.
I think it's his defense. He plays a very nice shortstop.
3-1 is called for strike 2. And we will have a full count pitch coming to John Topa, the UConn Husky. They'll really be relying on his leadership as a junior next year. Huskies looking for a bounce back year. We just said it with Fioli. They almost made the NCAA tournament. Full count pitch is swung on and fouled off towards the back of the dugout. UConn, one of those teams that they just might have made the NCAA tournament, had bid stealers like Iowa from the Big Ten or Oklahoma State out of the Big 12, not won their conference tournaments. We'll do the 3-2 to Topa again. Here's the pitch. Inside, and the Gatemen have their first base runner of the game. John Topa seems to be adjusting to that 5 spot all right. He works a walk.
Yeah, he works the walk there. It's really funny. Him and Mason Fioli both are from Connecticut, and they both won the WPRI Hometown Hero Award on one of the local news stations. They both got featured on that news station on the news broadcast. Got a short documentary about both of them because they performed so well in their respective high schools. It's funny to see the UConn products both get it here on the same team.
And they're not too far from home. Blake Sable shows bunt. He leaves John Topa out to dry. He seemed like he was going, but he scampers back to first okay. So it seems as if they're going to rule that Sable pulled that bunt back in, so it's going to be a 1-0 count. Smith looking for a sign, working out of the stretch for the first time today. The pitch to Sable is called for a strike. Thank you for joining us tonight on the Gatemen Baseball Network. 0-0 here in the top of the second between these two teams. 69 degrees and cloudy as the sun sets. It will set around 8:18 Eastern time here in Orleans tonight. This pitch is high to Sable. Grabbed out of the air by the catcher Salazar will prevent Topa from running. He had 10 stolen bases on the season for the UConn Huskies this year, 7 as a freshman. So he certainly has the speed, and we've seen Don Sneddon try to get runners going this year. Pickoff throw to first base is just not in time. It looked like Topa had the intention of going, but the lefty Smith tonight, he's going to be able to play with these Gatemen runners a bit. And the tag from Newtbar was almost in time. Newtbar, according to the Orleans Firebirds media team, is usually an outfielder as Sable swings and misses. And he is going to strike out. So 2 outs now in this inning, and Topa is still on first base. Nate Fosnot, who had an RBI base knock yesterday against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, he bats now.
You're pretty close with one of the media guys here, aren't you? A little Syracuse crew.
Syracuse connection all around the Cape Cod Baseball League this year,
They
especially
just pump those guys out, don't they?
in the Eastern Division. We've got guys in Orleans, Chatham, Brewster. Kevin Smith deals to Fosnot. This pitch was high, but swung on and missed by Fosnot. In addition to Brewster, Yarmouth Dennis has a Syracuse broadcaster and a beat writer. Katuitt has a beat writer. Hyannis has a broadcaster and a beat writer. And Matthew Wieselthayer and I are here in Wareham as Topa has a pickoff throw in his direction, but he's back in time.
You guys could basically cover the one division almost.
Almost. I mean, let's see, is that 7 out of the 10 teams?
I believe so.
Falmouth, Bourne, and Harwich are the only teams. Topa goes. The throw is totally in time, and he is gunned down by Cesar Salazar, and that will be the end of the inning. But Fasnacht will bat in the top of the third when we get there. First, the Gatemen pitchers, Mason Fioli. He has to get through the Orleans Firebirds. We'll be right back. It's Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
We appreciate and thank the sponsors who support the Cape League and the 10 teams. Our corporate sponsors are the financial backbone of the league. It is with their support that we are able to preserve our long-standing tradition of providing the best family entertainment here on Cape Cod. On behalf of the visiting team, the Wareham Gatemen, league officers, and the entire Cape League family, we would like to announce and thank our 2017 corporate sponsors. With much appreciation, we recognize the Yawkey Foundation, Chatham Bars Inn, the Fuller Family Foundation, Dunkin' Donuts, Curry College, Cape Cod Healthcare, the 99 Restaurants, Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod Potato Chips, Friendly's Ice Cream, Baseball Factory, Cape and Island License Plate, 47 Brand, Cape Cod 5 Cent Saving Bank, Stop and Shop, Peapod. We'll be back to you in the next inning for the second half of this outstanding list of loyal sponsors.
Bottom of the second inning here in Orleans, Massachusetts. It's the Firebirds and the Wareham Gatemen. Mason Fioli back on for the bottom of the second. He got through one inning successfully, and he deals to Cole Austin high. Count goes to 1-0. After Austin, we'll see Cesar Salazar, who just threw out John Topa at second base to end the top of the second. Austin fouls this one off, and the count will go to 1-1. After Salazar, it'll be Romy Gonzalez, who's playing second base today, and then Jeff Hopeby, and then the top of the order for Lars Nupar, who worked a single his first time around. Fioli steps off now, and he has plenty of collegiate baseball experience already. He played for the Worcester Bravehearts despite not even being in a semester of college yet last summer. This is a ground ball to the left side. It's picked up by Baird on the run, and the throw is in time to Sable, and that will be the first out of the inning here in the bottom of the second frame.
Now, I want to get your opinion on this. So Fioli's leg kick, is that really deceptive for a hitter at the plate?
I don't think it's as deceptive as it is to generate power. However, when the kick goes up that high, it's sort of hard to see the elbow. And then when you can't see the elbow, it delays the scene of the wrist. And when you see the wrist, that's
where it all comes from.
That is where you can pinpoint what kind of pitch and where the location will be. Fioli deals here. It looked like it was going to be eye level to Cesar Salazar, but it's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. Fioli's curveball working away from the lefty hitting Salazar, who throws with his right since he's a catcher. And the count is 0-1, Fioli's favor. He deals, and now it will be 0-2 after Salazar fouls this one off. Salazar, one of the shorter players in the Cape Cod Baseball League this year. He stands at 5'9". He comes to us from Hermoso, Mexico, but he went to Saharo High School in Tucson, Arizona. 4 alumni from that high school in Saharo played in Major League Baseball as he cuts on a foul ball, and we'll do the 0-2 again shortly. So 4 MLB alumni from Salazar's high school and 2 alumni in the NFL. That's got to be a good sign for him.
That's pretty cool.
Fioli getting ready to go. He gets the play single from home plate umpire Mickey Garcia. The 0-2 is fouled off again on a breaking ball by Salazar, doing a good job of protecting. Fioli's not trying to waste any pitches. He hasn't thrown a ball in about 4 pitches, and he's really trying to go at these hitters.
He works quickly. I love it.
So Fioli, he will stand on the mound now. He'll do the 0-2 for the third time in this at-bat against number 33 in white. Salazar grounds this one fair on the first base side past a diving Sable. Salazar rounding first, heading for second. The throw is not in time from Bonfield. It's going to be a one-out double for Cesar Salazar, and the Orleans Firebirds are in business once again.
Well, Salazar, that's his first hit on the season. He lost his helmet rounding first, heading for second. He was heading all the way down to second base. The throw was a tad bit late. Nice piece of hitting, though. Ropes it right past the first baseman, Sable.
We will now see Romy Gonzalez wearing number 5. He comes from the Miami Hurricanes. His sophomore year hit .265, 11 home runs, 38 RBIs, and stole 13 bases. He's the total package at second base for the Orleans Firebirds. He hits 8th tonight in this lineup. Salazar standing at second, and Romy Gonzalez will line this one foul off the bat a little early on Fioli's pitch, and that one went down the third base line and out of play. Gonzalez not much of a threat. Salazar not much of a threat to go over at second base, but he could score on a base hit from Gonzalez. Fioli out of the stretch now, keeping an eye on second base. Robbie Metz is in and out, the second baseman for the Gatemen. Fioli, big leg kick, deals. It's called strike on the inside corner and at about knee level. Gonzalez stands 6'2", 200 pounds. He bats and throws with both his right arm. And we're going to see him right now against Fioli with a runner in scoring position and one out. Another quick jam here for Fioli in the bottom of these frames. Called strike 3, outside corner. Romy Gonzalez is down looking. A great strikeout for Mason Fioli. It's his first of the day.
He was hoping to see Preston Grand Prix, the former Gateman here today, who signed with the Orleans Firebirds at the beginning of the season, but he got drafted by the Dodgers in the 24th round, signed with the team, and he only played that one game at the beginning of the season with the Firebirds.
So it's going to be Hopi at Preston Grand Prix shortstop position. Had a good year for the Gatemen last season. Hopi now will take a ball outside, and he's another guy that bats on the left side, but a shortstop always throws with his right, and Hopi certainly does. Comes from El Cajon, California, Valhalla High School. And Fioli getting the sign from McIver, who's catching him for the first time in this season. This is going to be a called ball. Hopi wants to swing at that one, but he holds it back. At El Cajon, California, first team All-East County, both his junior and senior years. First team All-Grossmont Hills League senior year, and second team when he was a junior at Valhalla High School. Swinging on a check swing is Hopi, but this one gets by the catcher McIver, rolls to the backstop, and Mason Fioli is covering home plate, but it does allow Cesar Salazar to take third base, and a base hit with 2 outs would most certainly score Salazar, who's waiting for some sort of action to come from the home plate area ever since he had his double.
And Hopi at the plate had the only RBI for Orleans yesterday in their 2-1 loss, so he's looking for another RBI today.
Fioli taking his sign from McIver. The sun is starting to set behind the hill here at Eldridge Park along the right field line, creating some interesting shadows. In order for the ball to get from the mound to home plate, it has to come out of the shadow on the pitcher's mound, go into the sun at about 45 to 30 feet, and then come back into the shade again. Here's the pitch. It's off speed, and it's called for a ball, says Mickey Garcia. So Hopi working this at-bat right now. It's a 3-1 count in his favor, a hitter's count. And we'll see how Fioli attacks him here, trying to get out of this inning. The 3-1, off speed, called, strike 2. So we're going to get the full count pitch from Fioli in just a second. The San Diego Torero, as a sophomore this year, hit .263 with 2 home runs, 21 RBIs. That .263 average and 21 RBIs mark, the exact same as it was as a freshman when he played in 49 games. The 3-2, off speed, Grounded to Blake Sable. He picks it up, steps on the bag himself, and that is the end of the inning. Mason Fioli gets himself out of another jam. The score is still 0-0. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 2 innings, it's 0-0. Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Continuing with our corporate sponsors, we also want to recognize and thank Franklin Sports, Advanced Embroidery, Cape Destinations, Robert B. R., Sullivan Tire, Vacation Inn Cape Cod Veterinary Specialists, Cape Cod Times, Kinlan Grover Real Estate.
Today's game, Cape Cod Baseball League action between the Wareham Gatemen and the Orleans Firebirds. Thank you for joining us tonight from wherever you are. Sorry for any technical difficulties we might be facing. Nate Fosnot, the batter, he was up in the top of the second, but didn't get a chance to serve his full at-bat after John Topa was caught stealing back in the second frame. The pitch is a called ball from Kevin Smith, who has set 6 up, 6 down in a way. He threw a walk to Topa, and then he was caught stealing. So we'll face the 7-batter Fosnot now, and he takes a called strike. The count goes to 1-1.
You mentioned the sunglasses. I'm always one of those guys that takes them off later than everyone else. I don't know why. It's just kind of a ritual thing I have.
Okay. Well, here is the 1-1 to Fosnot wearing 11 in blue. He takes a ball down low, and the count goes 2-1. See, whenever the sun is sort of out, I usually have my sunglasses on too, but I have these beautiful blue eyes to protect. I can't risk it. The 2-1 is hit in the air, foul out of play towards the fans here at Eldridge, and we're going to go to 2-2. It looks like a greenhouse up there here at the middle school that a ball just bounced off of. And we're going to have a 2-2 coming shortly from Smith to Fosnot. The pitch, it's lined for a base hit, and the Gatemen finally have one in this ball game. Nate Fosnot rounds first and stays there. It went straight to the right fielder, Riley, and he picked it up and threw it in. The Gatemen are aboard here in the top of the third.
Well, you asked me why Fosnot got rewarded with a full contract. It's because he's hitting over 300 with that single. He's got a couple RBIs. He plays great defense at shortstop, and he now finds himself on first base.
So after Fosnot, it's going to be his George Washington teammate, Robbie Metz, who's sat out the last couple of games. Hasn't been too successful so far. He shows bunt, and Fosnot retreats back. So Metz with George Washington this year, he did some pitching and some hitting, had a 5.02 ERA, struck out 24 on the mound, and then his outstanding stuff was in the batter's box, a 339 average, 32 RBIs. He grounds this one to the right side. Could be 2, 4, 6, 3, not in time. Robbie Metz grounds out in a fielder's choice, but he will be aboard at first base. So Fosnot's retired for the first out of the inning, and the situation remains the same. Runner on first for Ben Baird.
Baird 2 for 10 on the season. He struck out a couple.
Off the bench for the Huskies. He had 2 RBIs, so not a lot of production at the plate, but mostly a defensive replacement. He hit 091 for Washington. He swings and misses at this one, and where the count's going to go to 0-2. So Smith, after giving up a base hit and then a fielder's choice, comes right back at Baird.
Those defensive guys on your bench, though, always important, especially in late game situations.
Baird played college summer baseball before even getting to college. With the Wilson Tobbs of the Coastal Plain League last year, hit .316. Pickoff throw over to Metz, sort of lazy effort by Smith. He knew he wasn't going to get him, but checking on him just in case. We've seen a lot of small ball out of Don Sneddon and the Gatemen this year.
Yeah, and it's only worked so far, as in the runs haven't came in, but they've played it to second and third.
Ben Baird cuts on this one, and it is fouled out of play.
What I mean by that is they've, yes, advanced to runners to second and third, but the runs aren't coming in, and small ball only fully works if the runs come all the way around and score, and if you're rewarded for that. But keep going at your pace and keep doing what you're doing. Don Sneddon's been calling a great game on the small ball so far.
A lot of speed around this lineup, and if you want to talk about speed, how about Ben Baird with the Wilson Tobbs last summer? 36 stolen bases. The pitch swung on and missed, and Baird will go back to the dugout. Strike 3 from Kevin Smith, and there's 2 outs in this inning now.
The high heater got Baird. That's Smith's 3rd strikeout of the outing. He went up and chased a high heater. Oh, Baird goes down swinging.
With 2 outs, you might see Robbie Metz go here, try to get a runner in scoring position for the Gatemen, and Brandon Lockridge, who has had a good season so far, but he's 0 for 1 today after grounding out to the shortstop, Hope. He swings and misses on a ball in the dirt. The count goes 0-1 to 1-2 in blue and red. Lockridge, we talked about his outstanding sophomore year already, but he had just as good as a freshman year, 55 starts, hit .265, 2 home runs, 23 runs batted in, and he swings and misses on another low pitch. So low off-speed action from Kevin Smith really fooling these Gatemen hitters right now. Counts 0-2.
Yeah, and the sun's also completely out of the infield.
So no shadows to mess with the hitters. The 0-2, nope, it's going to be a pickoff throw to Metz, who looked like he was going to run on contact. Lockridge, he stands in and he digs in right now. Smith has the ball. He takes his sign from the catcher, Salazar. The 0-2 is cut on and fouled away, so we're going to do that pitch again in just a little bit.
All right, I lied. There's a sliver of light towards the third baseman, but that's about it. It's going to be gone in a minute 50.
Well, it's made for a beautiful sunset so far here at Eldridge Park. A minute 50, that's pretty precise. We might have to get the...
I meant to say minute 30. I don't know why
producer Matthew Weaselthayer is going to get the stopwatch out on you. The 0-2. This one is lined to the shortstop, who makes a jumping play. Great play by Hope to retire the Wareham Gatemen and Brandon Lockridge. It's a 1-hit but no run innings for the Gatemen. It's 0-0 here in Orleans, but we're going to send it to Sam Corman, who will tell us about scores from around the Cape. Sam.
It's time for a game break. 4 other games going on here in the Cape League. Bourne and Cotuit in a West Division battle. Bourne leads that game 5-4. Down in Barnstable, Grant Witherspoon from Tulane with a bases-clearing double for the Braves. In an East Division matchup, the Brewster Whitecaps and the YD Red Sox are tied at 7. However, the YD Red Sox had a 7-1 lead in that game. But Brewster scored 5 runs in the 6th, including 3 RBIs from Michael Jasper out of Bryant. In an interleague matchup between Chatham and Hyannis, the Anglers continue to roll. They're up 1-0 over the Harbor Hawks. Nick Patton, we saw how good he was on Sunday in that doubleheader, has another RBI single for the Anglers. And finally, Falmouth and Harwich in another West versus East matchup. A big first inning for both teams. Falmouth scored 3 in the first, Harwich scored 2. Falmouth currently holding on to a 4-2 lead. In that game, both starters, Scott Pullitz and Tim Herron, have been bounced from that matchup. Back to you, Connor.
Well, we just heard about how Chatham was defeating Hyannis, and both those teams, the Gatemen are 0-2 against this year. So all 4 of the Gatemen's losses coming to either the Harbor Hawks or the Anglers. You'd like to see Chatham win if you're a Gatemen fan. It knocks Hyannis down further in the standings. Here is a pitch to Lars Newbar from Mason Fioli. So here in the top of the third, we're going to get the bottom of the third, rather. We're going to get the top of the Firebirds order. Fioli is ahead of the count, 0-1. He'll come out of the windup now. Big leg kick. Newbar shows bunt, but pulls it back. So the count goes to 1-1. Lars Newbar, his brother Nigel, pitched at USC, and Newbar right now is a USC Trojan. His brother was drafted by the Orioles and is now playing independent league ball as he fouls this one off to the left side out of play. Newbar here leading off for Orleans. He had a single his first time around, made it all the way to third. He would have been the leading run in this game, but Baird threw him out of the plate. The pitch from Fioli is low in the dirt, so with 2 strikes on the opening batter in this bottom of the third, Fioli's going to have to use a few more pitches to try to get rid of Newbar, who had his number the first time up.
Well, the sun goes down. The temperature goes down as well. It's getting a little chilly.
The 2-2 swung on and hit for a base hit into center field. It's picked up by Dodson and thrown back in, and Lars Newtbar is 2 for 2 today for the Orleans Firebirds.
Nice contact there from Newtbar. Fosnot couldn't stretch out the glove like Hotby did last half inning, and that was a single all the way.
The lights have turned on here at Eldridge Park in Orleans. The on-deck batter is Brendan Riley, but first we'll see Jimmy Herron, who had a single down the left field line his first time up, made it to third, and was stranded there at the end of the bottom of the first. The pitch is in there for a strike, so the count will go 2-0-1.
Orleans Firebird player comes up to us and asks if we want to join the 50-50. We politely decline.
Don't we do enough for this league already? Pickoff throw, or there isn't even a throw, but Newtbar is going to slide back into first base. Fioli hangs on to the ball, though, and he's back on the rubber, getting ready to throw the ball in. Wind behind the pitchers tonight as Herron fouls this one off. So wind rarely affects pitches, especially fastballs, but this 0-2 count here, it might have a little extra oomph behind it because the wind is coming right behind the pitcher Fioli right now. It's been changing the entire time we've been here.
It's blowing, though. Maybe a little more zip out of Fioli's fastball, like you said.
We got up to 20-mile-an-hour winds last night at Spillane Field. We're not seeing anything near that tonight. We won't even see winds touch 10 miles an hour. Fioli, leg kick, deals. This one is popped up in the infield. Sable is under it, drifting into foul territory. He's got his eye on it, and he makes the play. So that will be the first out of the inning.
Now, this is still baseball related, but not related to this game specifically.
Okay.
Have you ever seen a hidden ball trick performed in a game before? Because that is my ultimate goal here on the Cape. Give me a hidden ball trick.
I did it in the 6th grade.
You did it?
I did it.
Okay.
I was the third baseman, and I faked a throwback in Little League. And the runner, who I didn't know at the time, I just tagged him out. The umpires saw it the whole way. And then he and I ended up being pretty good friends in high school. Not the best of friends. I don't talk to him anymore, but it's just a funny story.
50-50.
Fioli throws over.
Well, I mean, when you're broadcasting, I'm saying, have you ever seen it?
No.
No.
I mean,
it's my goal.
Okay. Well, hopefully we'll see one this season. We got to talk to Coach Sneddon, and maybe they'll. He's always any way that the Gatemen can win. I think he'd be down for. So maybe you should talk to him. Runner goes. It's a hit and run. It's lined straight to Fosnot. He'll have an easy throw to first base, and it's a 6-3 double play. Outstanding work on the diamond by the shortstop Nate Fosnot. That's how the bottom of the third goes. It's still a 0-0 ball game, and it's Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Fuller Family Foundation is proud to support the excellent sportsmanship and character of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Registration is now open for the 2017 Wareham Gatemen Youth Clinics. The instruction clinics are open to boys and girls between ages 4 and 15. The clinics are a great opportunity to meet and learn from some of the best collegiate players in the country. Clinics are held Monday through Friday, depending on the player's off day. For more information and to sign up your young ball player, visit www.gatemen.org.
The Wareham Gatemen and the visiting team, the Cape Cod Baseball League, and the NCAA promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation and positive support of the participants and officials. Profanity, racial or sexist comments, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from this ballpark.
It's a 0-0 ball game here at Eldridge Park in Orleans. No runs and still no hidden ball tricks that we've seen live in front of our faces doing summer collegiate baseball, Jacob.
Give me a hidden ball trick. I mean, I'm asking for it. You just give it to me. You know what? I'm going to talk to Sneddon after the game. I got it. It's it.
Well, covering lacrosse this year at Syracuse University, we didn't see any, but watching lacrosse around the country, Johns Hopkins is really known for doing it. They fake put the ball in one of their sticks. He jogs over to the bench and then throws it from nearly 30 yards away So it happens. It's real, but this is the game of baseball, and we're still waiting to see that. Tanner Dodson stands in against Kevin Smith, who has given up 1 hit through 3 innings. That hit coming off the bat of Nate Fosnot in the top of the third, who then in the bottom of the third made an outstanding double play. Tanner Dodson lines this one into right field. Coming on and making the play is Riley. That ball was moving away from him, but Riley, the right fielder, really making it look easy, but I can tell you it wasn't.
No, it wasn't, but nice play out there from Riley. Also, Will Neely is warming in the bullpen right now for the Gatemen. Be interesting to see if he gets in next inning.
So Willie McIver will come in now. He's going to bat third in this lineup today, and he struck out looking his last time up. He fouls this one away.
So the backstop here is brick as well, but it's covered by padding except for near the Orleans dugout. Wrigley again, field a little bit, maybe,
Yeah,
like Chatham.
Chatham had a very similar thing on Sunday. We made a comment about it, but we're not at Wrigley Field. In fact, we're at Eldridge Park here in Orleans, Massachusetts. Willie McIver takes the ball inside. Man, all of these guys, someday they would be hoping that they could play at Wrigley Field, but for now, they're here in the Cape Cod Baseball League, and so many of these guys are future stars just in the making here in their college years. The pitch to McIver is inside. Catcher's going to call for an appeal down to the first base umpire, but James Dion says no, he did not go.
Where the stars of tomorrow shine today. That's the saying for the Cape League.
That's just a saying. Can you make it into a jingle for us?
I could. Give me some editing time.
Okay. McIver sees called strike 2, and the count will go to 2-2 with 1 out. Tanner Dodson was the lone batter this inning, and he flew out to the right fielder Riley. So it's a 0-0 ball game, Wareham Gatemen and Orleans Firebirds. McIver strokes this one, and it's going to drop for a base hit into shallow center field. McIver is on board. He has the second hit of the night for the Wareham Gatemen, and they're in business now. They've got their cleanup hitter and then the 5-hitter Topa coming up afterwards.
Be a nice spot here for Bonfield to get his first hit. He's now 0 for 10, but he has speed at first. We've seen McIver steal. He has 4 stolen bases on the season. Maybe get in scoring position here with 1 out and then drive him in on a base hit.
He has 4 stolen bases through 6 games already for the Wareham Gatemen. He had 4 stolen bases all of his 2016 summer with the Walla Walla Sweets of the West Coast League. Pitch out intentionally to Luke Bonfield. They wanted to see if McIver was going, but he will hold up at first. Bonfield, plenty of collegiate summer baseball experience in his career. In 2014, played just south of here on the islands, Martha's Vineyard Island specifically, for the Martha's Vineyard Sharks of the Futures League. He takes a called ball, low and inside now. In 2015, he spent the summer just west of us with the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox, played 30 games, hit just over 200 for batting average, and knocked in 6 runs. And then, as we've mentioned before, Jacob was here for 2 games with the Wareham Gatemen, which he batted 3 for 8. He still doesn't even have a hit to his name for this 2017 summer, and now he's had well over 8 at-bats.
Yeah, he had the hamstring issue last year, which deterred him a little bit, re-aggravated it during the summer. But he's healthy now. He's fully healthy, ready to go.
The pitch, the 3-0. Bonfield keeps the bat on his shoulder. It was a good pitch right down the middle, and the count will go 2-3-1. After Bonfield is Topa and Sable. They have both had pretty good seasons so far for the Gatemen, driving in runs and serving up singles. The 3-1 is lined foul along the first base line. So we're going to get a 3-2. Kevin Smith works himself successfully back into this at-bat. And despite these 2 base hits, Jacob, Kevin Smith has done no wrong today.
Yeah, 3 strikeouts. He's looked good. Fastball command. Always like to see that on both parts of the plate.
It's going to be a pickoff throw to first base, and now McIver's in a pickle. The first baseman has it, and he is going to tag out McIver. So now there was a runner on first with 1 out. There's no runners on and 2 outs. Pretty bad play there.
Is that a 3-6-3? Is that how you score that?
I believe so. It was the shortstop Hopey who made the throw to the first baseman, Newtbar.
See, the thing is, I think McIver should have just kept going, even though there was a pickoff attempt. He may have had a chance to get there with his speed to second base, but nonetheless, he gets thrown out.
So Bonfield still at the plate. He's got a 3-2 count, and he will take a ball high. So different situation now for the Gatemen. They have a runner on first with 2 outs, but had McIver not gotten into that pickle, they'd have runners on first and second with only 1 out. So that's the difference in this inning right now.
Yeah, and now Topa comes up. Again, this is one of your hottest hitters, maybe your hottest hitter in the lineup right now. He's got a chance with a runner on first, but 2 outs. That's the only thing that's the issue.
Topa has served up some 2-out hitting this year so far. He's going to take a ball low, some off-speed stuff from the lefty Smith, in which the righty John Topa has a bit of an advantage. Topa's first time around, he walked and was then caught stealing. So 2 caught stealings tonight for the Gatemen. Usually they're more successful than they are not successful. Smith deals. It's going to be a ground ball to the shortstop Hopey. He goes the easy way to second baseman Gonzalez, and that will be the end of the top of the 4th. So through 3.5, the score is still 0-0 between the Wareham Gatemen and the Orleans Firebirds. We will be right back.
Do you know what that sound is? That's your new digital marketing department. And that'll be your new web designer. And that's Haibu, where these experts are joined by many more, from web designers to search marketing specialists who work hard to get your business noticed online and on mobile. Best of all, Haibu can do it all for you, or give you the tools to do it yourself. To find out more, go to haibu.com. That's HIBU.com, or call 855-464-HIBU. Oh, that'll be your next new customer. Haibu, made for business.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. This special weekly celebration of Red Shirt Fridays is sponsored by 47 Brand, HP Hood, Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority, Advanced Embroidery, and the Cape League. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Back in the bottom of the 4th inning at Eldridge Park in Orleans, Massachusetts. The Wareham Gatemen starter Mason Fioli goes 3 innings without giving up a run. He did give up 5 hits in his time in those 3 innings, and he will now be replaced by Will Neely, the Tennessee Volunteer. He'll be a junior next year in the Music City area.
Yeah, we saw Neely at Chatham for 2/3 of an inning. Had a strikeout, had a walk. And he's got some late fastball life on his fastball. Not a lot of velocity, only 86 to 89, but his breaking ball is also pretty good as well.
So he's replacing Fioli, who had that big leg kick and plenty of velocity to go along with it. Will Neely wearing number 50 in blue. And he's going to make an appearance right now for the Gatemen. Fioli gave up at least 1 hit in each of his innings of action. He gave up 3 in the first, 1 in the second, and then 1 in the third. The first pitch he deals to Kevin Stroshine. The cleanup hitter is called for a ball. Count 1-0. Count goes 2-0 now. Neely locates it in the exact same spot, low and inside, but Stroshine is not biting. This pitch is grounded over the pitcher's mound, picked up by the second baseman Metz, on to first in time. Great play there by Robbie Metz, moving to his right, throwing across his body, and Blake Sable didn't have to do anything but catch the ball right at his chest.
I love watching Metz play defense, whether it's at second, short, third. He just does everything really technical, and just it's beautiful baseball to watch. He really doesn't make a lot of errors.
Second time Metz has thrown out a runner tonight. The first was Steven Scott in the first inning, and he will bat right now for the Firebirds. So Neely records an out, and working out of the windup, he throws a swinging strike. Scott on top of a breaking ball from Neely that moves towards this left-handed hitter in Scott. This one is going to be a called ball high and outside. They'll ask for an appeal, but Rick Emerson says no, he did not swing. Count goes to 1-1. So it was the lefty Fioli and now the righty Neely. What does he need to do to build on Fioli's success as Scott fouls one off, 1-2?
Well, Fioli didn't walk anyone, so I would continue that. You know, control your fastballs and your off-speed pitches. Don't walk anybody because that's always an issue, obviously, in baseball. But no, this guy, rated number 2 in Tennessee by a perfect game back in high school. He's got a lot of pedigree early on, and he's looked at as a nice prospect for Tennessee.
He comes out of the windup now, deals. It's a called ball on the outside corner. Count goes to 2-2. Neely, with the Anchorage Bucks of the Alaska Baseball League, had 7 starts and 2 relief appearances for the Bucks, a 3.89 ERA last year. He deals high. Count will go full 3-2. So Scott has worked himself back into this at-bat. 21 strikeouts last summer in the Alaska League. It's far, far away from here, Jacob, but the pedigree of those players is just the same. The 3-2, swung on and missed, strike 3, and McIver will throw it around the infield. Will Neely gets his first strikeout.
Yeah, it's for a long time it was the Alaska Baseball League and then the Cape Cod Baseball League. I think it's now the other way around, but they keep battling out for, you know, one of those top collegiate baseball leagues in the country. One other thing about Neely is that he's wearing his hat kind of like Fernando Rodney does with a little turn to the side there. I like it.
Cole Austin bats, and he's just wearing a helmet right now. He's in the batter's box, and he takes a called ball just below the knees, says Mickey Garcia. Both these teams coming off losses. Wareham, a 3-game losing streak. And Will Neely will peg Cole Austin right in the back. He's going to take first base, and he feels, it looks like he feels just fine. So Neely gives up his first base runner. It's not the first hit by pitch we've seen from Gatemen pitchers this season, and oftentimes it leads to a little more than just a 2-out walk.
Yeah, it does. And it's basically just like a hit because the runner's on first base, so you have to be careful here with your control.
So Neely will look to back bounce in this at-bat against Cesar Salazar, who had a double against Mason Fioli. He'll face this righty now in Neely. The pitch is low and in the dirt. Neely, his motion is really quick, especially out of the stretch, but in the windup, it's like he starts and then the ball's at the plate. There's nothing in between.
No, there's really nothing in between. That's some deception right there. It comes at you fast. You have to be ready for it.
Jim Lawler and Don Sneddon looking on from the Gatemen dugout here along the third base line. This ball is hit hard and fouled out of play.
You say that Don Sneddon and Jim Law looking on, they could probably hear what I'm saying right now, and they're probably disagreeing with half what I say. You know, me as a young baseball guy learning baseball, they're, you know, in their years learning baseball. So, you know, they could be disagreeing with some things I'm saying, but hey, that's how it goes.
Coach Lawler always has his yellow stopwatch on. It looks like he's timing pitches from Neely right now. An outstanding scout, an outstanding teacher of young pitchers. This is a fastball that's driven out to left center field. It's going to be a base hit. Rounding second and heading for third is Austin, and he will reach third. And in a pickle, but reaching back to first safely is Salazar. So he's going to be limited to a single. There's runners on the corners now and 2 outs for the Firebirds.
Kind of a mistake there by Blake Sable at first base. They would have tagged out Salazar because he was well heading for second base. He lost his helmet, but no one was there to cover first. Once the ball got in the infield, they couldn't end the inning with that out. So now it's runners at the corners for Rami Gonzalez.
Almost a major mental mistake by Salazar, but he's been on fire tonight. He has a hit against each of the Gatemen pitchers, 1 a double and 1 a single. It'll bring out Romy Gonzalez, who was Fioli's only strikeout victim. He went down looking back in the second. Neely deals. This is a ball in the dirt. So if the Gatemen let this one get away from them in this inning, it'll be almost similar to the Hyannis game last night, where the starter threw 5 scoreless innings, and then the first pitcher that comes out of the bullpen has a little trouble.
Yeah, that's not what you want if you're head coach Don Sneddon. Saw Wolfram have that trouble last night.
Neely deals, cut on and foul tip, but straight into the glove of McIver. So Gonzalez has a 1-1 count on him now. From American Senior High School in Miami, Florida, was All-State in 2014 and 2015. Won the 7A state title in 2014. He pops this one up. It's in foul territory, but it could be a makeable play for Sable. It's going to go out of play, so Met Sable and the right fielder, Bonfield, all make some running efforts, but the ball's going to go out of play, and the count will go 1-2. Neely a pitch away, a good pitch away, it has to be against a hitter like Gonzalez, of getting out of this inning.
There's a lot of foul ground over there down the first base line, but there is another white line to separate it because the fence does stop about 3/4 of the way down the right field line out in right field.
Neely taking the sign from McIver. 1 pitch away from getting out of this runners on the corners and 2 outs jam. Neely deals. It's going to be fouled off by Romy Gonzalez, doing a good job of 2-strike hitting right there. It was a pitch that was going to be called strike 3 if he didn't swing at it, but he wasn't going to be able to put it in play for a hit either, so great job by the batter Gonzalez.
Yeah, you got to fight it off as much as possible.
Gonzalez wearing number 5 in white, Neely wearing 50 in blue. Neely, the volunteer, deals. Cut on and miss, strike 3. And that will end the 4th inning for the Orleans Firebirds. After 4 frames of baseball here at Eldridge Park, the score is still 0-0. It's Wareham Gatemen Baseball, and you're listening to it on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Give the gift of life. Donating blood is an easy, quick, safe way to save a life. Blood collected at Cape Cod Healthcare blood drives stay on Cape Cod and is used to treat people here. For information on upcoming blood drives, or if your organization is interested in sponsoring a blood drive, visit capecodhealth.org or call 508-862-5278. Cape Cod Healthcare. Expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all that they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu.
Top of the 5th, no score. Wareham Gatemen Baseball, they're taking on the Orleans Firebirds, just about as far east as you can travel in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Of course, north of us, there's Eastham and Provincetown, some great vacation towns here in Cape Cod. Some of the most beautiful places in the world are just at our fingertips here, Jacob.
And I live here, so it's really fun. I don't live this far down the Cape.
A Sandwich native is Jacob Toby. I'm Connor Federico. Thank you for listening tonight. We're going to hear from our Claudia Chakamian after the end of this half inning. She'll be interviewing Don Sneddon on his thoughts on today's game, and it's been pretty similar to other Gatemen games where they go scoreless for a certain amount of innings, and then it is baseball. Someone's got to get a run eventually. Blake Sable, he's going to pop this one up into shallow left field. Under it, Stroshine, he makes the play, first out of the inning.
And the one thing you guys got to get right is that we are down Cape right now. We are not up Cape. We are down the Cape.
I learned after you told me the last time.
Yes, and that's what people coming here have to realize is that there's Upper Cape Tech, which is near Sandwich, and that's in Bourne. Lower Cape Tech, which are 2 schools. You know, now Lower Cape's down here, so you got to learn that.
We've got Nate Fosnod up now. He has a single in this game. He had a single in yesterday's game against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks.
And it really irks me when people get it wrong. Like, come on, you got to know.
We are on the lower Cape right now.
There
How
we
hard
go.
is it? You
There
have
we
a
go.
50-50 chance. I got it right this time.
You did.
Fosnot, 1-0. He swings and drives this one back towards the mound. It's picked up by the shortstop, Hotby. He's charging, and he makes the play, throwing across his body. So 2 outs now. Interesting at bat for Fosnot. It looked like that one could have been a single. And then it's picked up by Hotby, the shortstop, and he makes a nice play.
This game's flying by right now. Just over rather, an hour and 11 minutes, just about.
You're listening to Wareham Gatemen Baseball on YouTube live right now, but as a reminder, as Robbie Metz comes in and swings and fouls this one off, as a reminder, you can follow the Gatemen, Wareham Gatemen, on YouTube, SoundCloud, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We've got it all. And Robbie Metz takes a ball on the outside. Kevin Smith trying to work a backdoor curveball, but it just doesn't clip the outside corner. Robbie Metz check swings, and this one's going to be grounded down the line. And it's going to be an out. Wow, tough time following that play, but a check swing from Metz. It bounces up in the air along the first base line. It's fielded by Newpar, and he steps on the bag. So a quick 1-2-3 inning. We're going to go to break really quick, and then you'll hear from our Claudia Chicamine on the other side. It's 0-0, and it's Wareham Gatemen Baseball.
That you needed to score those early runs, and once again we're here midway through the game and it's scoreless. So what do you need to do moving forward?
Well, we got to get some hits. That's the bottom line, and getting some guys on base and get him out of a stretch a little bit. We don't think he's effective as he is from his windup, so somehow we got to get him out of a stretch and think that we'd have a little more luck.
What are you hoping to see from guys like Bonfield and Baird, whose bats have been pretty quiet so far?
Well, he's pitched, you got to give their pitcher a little bit of credit, and he's throwing well and he's throwing strikes. We got to get some better hacks and hit the pitches when we do get them. We're fouling them off once again.
Great, thanks, Coach. Back to you, Connor.
Thank you very much, Claudia. Coach Don Snedding giving all the credit to his Gatemen pitchers right now, but I got to take credit away from myself. I've made 2 critical fact errors in this game, Jacob. One, I said the University of Tennessee was in the Music City. That's a lie. It's in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Our geography
the Music
teacher,
City,
Sam Corman.
And I'm a big geography fan, so I'm pretty upset with myself right now, but I messed up Knoxville, Tennessee for Nashville, Tennessee, the Music City. And then I said the town of Eastham is north of us here on the Cape. It is indeed south, according to our Tom Crane, who's dealing with all the All-Star Game stuff for this year. The batter is Jeff Hopey, and he takes a strike. Now he's going to bloop this one into shallow right field. Coming on, making the play is the center fielder. It's Tanner Dodson, flashing the leather and making the diving grab. 1 out.
Nice play there from Dodson. That's the second time we've seen him do that. Back in Chatham we saw it. That just shows his athleticism in center field. He said he played there for 5 straight weeks to begin his season at Cal this past season, and I think I know why.
He also does some pitching, and we've seen that before. In the Orleans bullpen, it's going to be Parker Kelly. So we've seen 5 innings out of Kevin Smith, the Orleans starter, and he's pitched pretty well. He hasn't given up a single run, but pitch count limits might hurt him, and he's on an innings limit this year with Orleans. 20 total innings he has a leash for. Ground ball hit by Lars Newpar, the leadoff man. Sable picks it up, steps on first. It's the second out of the inning, so quick work so far for Neely. Coming up is Jimmy Herron. Counter Federico, Jacob Toby with you tonight. Beautiful night here at Eldridge Park. We still got a bit of sunlight coming off the hill out in right field. Other than that, we've got some pink clouds up in the left field sky. Man, what a picturesque night here on Cape Cod.
Every night is.
Thank you for listening to us as Will Neely throws a strike.
Parker Kelly warming in the bullpen for Orleans.
Jimmy Herron up right now, so Parker Kelly, he might be coming in at the top of the 6th. Tyler Aki of the Orleans Firebirds media team telling me earlier today that the pitcher, Kevin Smith, is on a 20 innings limit for the entire season. They want him to be healthy when he returns to Georgia, and our Don Sneddon told us just a couple of days ago that these guys are on loan to these summer teams, basically, and you want to treat them and respect their health and make sure that they return to their teams the way that they found them.
Same thing happened with Gunnar Leger, the Sun Belt Pitcher of the Year this past summer with Wareham. He was on an innings limit, and he was the ace of the Gatemen and almost the ace of Cape Cod as well.
1-1. This one is lined. It's going to be a base hit. Fair ball down the left field line. John Topa running after it. Herron rounding first, heading for second. He's in safely. It's going to be a stand-up 2-out double against Will Neely. It comes off the bat of Jimmy Herron. So Neely, for the second time in a row, both the 4th and the 5th inning, he's gotten the first 2 outs of the batters he's seen, and then he's given up a 2-out something. In the 4th, it was a Cole Austin hit-by pitch, and now it's a double down the left field line for Jimmy Herron. It'll bring up Brendan Riley with the runner on second base. Herron represents possibly the go-ahead run if Riley can find a way to drive him in. Riley, 0 for 1 today, has lined into a double play. It was back in the 3rd inning, a line shot plucked out of the air by Nate Fosnot that he threw on to first. Neely breathes, kicks, deals, and is swinging and missing is Riley. McIver throwing onto second base. This one gets into the outfield. Picked up by Dodson, though, thankfully for the Gatemen, and Herron will remain on second base. The 1-1 pitch to Riley is coming.
You got to be careful if you're McIver behind the plate. That could have been disastrous for a moment there.
So the Gatemen went 1-2-3 in the top of the 5th. The Gatemen pitchers, on the other hand, they haven't forced a 1-2-3 inning yet of these Firebirds hitters. They've been hitting around for sure. They have 3, 4, 5, 6 in this game as Brendan Riley takes the ball low at the knees. The Firebirds used to be the Cardinals, similar to the St. Louis Cardinals of Major League Baseball. This area, and Cape Cod in general, is known for having its ospreys and its beautiful birds around.
Did you do your bird studying before you got to here today?
Well, ospreys I've known from my days on Long Island, as this one is fouled away by Riley, but according to my good friend Tyler Aki, there is a new bird's nest that has been created on one of these stadium lights, and it's actually right to our left there. No, not this first one, but the second one. You can see just a bit of a nest. Nests are popular in Wareham. I haven't seen any at Spillane, but they definitely do exist on your drive there, no matter where you're coming from.
There's also a nest on the light post at Hyannis's field.
The Harbor Hawks and the Firebirds, both birds attracting ospreys. Willie McIver blocks a ball in the dirt from Neely, and the count goes full. So while we talk about birds, there's baseball going on.
There is.
A critical at-bat right here for Brandon Riley. He's going to try to get out of this inning right now. 3-2 will be coming from Neely. He takes a sign, breathes in deep, delivers quickly. It's going to be lined to left field. John Topa charging in, sliding, and he can't make the play. It drops to his lap. Coming in to score is Jimmy Herron, and the Firebirds have a 1-0 lead.
Topa was close, but he couldn't make the grab, and Herron was all forces full to home plate, and Brandon Riley with a nice piece of hitting pulls it to right, and he gets that RBI.
Really tough play for John Topa out in left field, but he is unable to make it. So Will Neely, the pitcher, gives up the first run of this game. He sets now. He's going to have to try to go through Kevin Stroshine, who takes a weak cut at the first pitch he sees from Neely. Stroshine today, he grounded into a double play, 5-2-3 in the first inning, and then he grounded out to Robbie Metz in the fourth inning. He's batting here in the bottom of the fifth. Stroshine fouls this one off, so the count will go 0-2. The Gatemen trail 1-0 now. Jimmy Herron came around to score just a second ago against a Brandon Riley RBI single that just went under the glove of a diving John Topa. Neely sets, kicks, throws, called strike 3 on the outside corner. A breaking ball from Will Neely gets him out of the inning, and Kevin Stroshine is down looking. It's 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, 1 man left on base. You're listening to Wareham Gatemen Baseball. They trail 1-0 on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
All-Star Game Weekend starts with a celebrity softball game on July 21st at McKeon Park in Hyannis. Come watch Jason Veritek, Bill Lee, Nancy Kerrigan, Scott Zolak, and other celebrities play ball in support of the Cape Cod Baseball League and Spalding Rehabilitation Hospital of Cape Cod. Gates open at 4 p.m. For more information and to buy tickets, go to allstarcapecod.org. That's allstarcapecod.org.
Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Cape Cod employs more than 50 full-time employees and more than 25 seasonal. Every year, more than 15 college students get great experience and support their education by working at Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod. Reward yourself. Have a Coke.
Top of the 6th inning. This game has been flying by. It was a 7 o'clock start time. It's 8:23 on the East Coast right now, and we're about as far east as you can go in the Cape Cod Baseball League. It's the Orleans Firebirds hosting the Wareham Gatemen tonight. And the Firebirds, they were playing a gracious host early in the game, Jacob, but now they have a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, they got that 1 run thanks to Brandon Riley, his RBI single that last half inning. Some speed from Jimmy Herron, their leading batter, who also leads them in RBIs, and he went from second to home in no time on the base hit, and that's where we're at right now, 1-0.
So Ben Baird will step in, and he is going to face the new pitcher. It's going to be Parker Kelly replacing Kevin Smith, who went 5 scoreless innings. He only gave up 2 hits. One was to Fosnot, and the other was to Willie McIver. So the Gatemen trying to get something started here against a new pitcher. Parker Kelly, 6'2", 215 pounds, the righty. So the Gatemen will see a righty tonight for the first time. And Ben Baird will show bunt, pull back, but it's called for a strike. Ben Baird, the Agora Hills, California native, once represented the Milwaukee Brewers in the area code games in his high school days.
What are the area code games?
Basically, there's only a couple of teams that you can play for, and it's done by regions in high school, and Ben Baird takes a strike, who once represented the Milwaukee region, so it's not literally, the West Coast is for the Angels or the Dodgers or the Athletics or something. It's totally mixed up from year to year, and players will go to the area code games. It's basically the best from each region in the country. The regions are, as Ben Baird swings and misses strike 3 on a ball that was way over his head. So he strikes out. That's his second strikeout of the day. So the area code games, it's not exact, but do you know how the Little League World Series regions are broken down? Sort of Northeast, Mid-Atlantic,
yeah.
Great Lakes, Southwest, all that stuff. It's very similar. Swinging and missing is Brandon Lockridge. The leadoff man is 0 for 2 today. Grounded out to the shortstop, Hope B in the first. Lined out to Hope B again in the third. And he's batting here in the fifth. He takes a ball inside, just gets his legs out of the way, but it was closer to the plate, honestly, than it was to hitting him. Lockridge with the bat on his shoulder now, looking to create something here in the top of the sixth for his Wareham Gatemen. He swings on a ball in the dirt. It goes by Salazar. The count will go to 1-2. So far in the top of the sixth, we've seen something from the Gatemen that we haven't seen a lot this season. They're swinging at bad pitches outside the strike zone.
Yeah. Bad swings.
Lockridge, 6'1", 185 pounds. The 1-2, trying to go front door curveball was the pitcher Kelly, but he can't hit. And the count will go to 2-2. Westview High School from Portland, Oregon. That's where Parker Kelly comes from. Plays his college ball for the Oregon Ducks. Swinging and missing, strike 3. Brandon Lockridge goes down, so that was definitely a ball. The front door curveball action was similar. Lockridge swings and misses on a ball out of the strike zone for strike 3. So did Ben Baird last inning.
Yeah, Ben Baird got caught on the fastball up and away, and then Lockridge gets caught with the off-speed breaking ball away as well. So not some good pitches here for that they're swinging at for the Gatemen.
So here is Tanner Dotson. He's 0 for 2 today. He's hitting from the left side for the first time in this game. He batted from the right all other times in the first and in the fourth inning because he was facing a lefty, Kevin Smith, who went 5 innings and only gave up 2 hits, no runs. He is in line to be the winning pitcher right now. If the Firebirds can hold on to this one, a quality start from him. What'd you like out of Kevin Smith?
I think he was very accurate. He did walk a couple people, but he had 3 Ks, 3 punch-outs, no runs, and liked his command.
Taking a ball inside is Tanner Dotson. He stands 6'2" and 180 pounds. He played for, wait for it, the Pacific Union Financial Capitalists of the California Collegiate League before he even went to college. Taking a strike on the outside corner, backdoor curveball came in from Kelly. He played as a Cal commit in 2015. The California Collegiate League, upon further research, seems to be for more commits than it is for guys who have already played their college ball. Here's a ground ball to the shortstop. Hope B picks it up. Throwing on a first and stretching to make the play is Newtbar. The Gatemen go down 1-2-3 for the 4th time today. And the top of the 6th is scoreless. But before we get to the bottom of this frame, we're going to send it to Sam Corman, who's going to give us more scores from around Cape Cod baseball. Sam.
Well, not much has changed since the last time we came in for a score update. Bourne and Katuitt it was a 5-4 Bourne lead. Last time we checked, that game is final at 5-4. It was Witherspoon with that 3 RBI double early in that game. That was a difference maker for Bourne, and Zach Mort out of George Mason gets the save for the Braves. Falmouth and Harwich remain in a 4-2 game in the top half of the 7th inning. It's a 4-2 Falmouth lead in that game. Brewster and Yarmouth Dennis, that game is still tied at 7th. In that game in the bottom half of the 9th inning, so we'll keep a close eye on that one, as that game could be bound for extras, and YD, of course, without lights. So we could end up with a tie out there in YD as the wind blows in. And some difference here in the Hyannis-Chatham game. The Harbor Hawks lead the Anglers 4-1 in the top of the 6th. That's a recent lead for Hyannis, as Ford Proctor's 3-run blast has Hyannis up by 3. Back to you, Connor, for the bottom half of this sixth inning.
Thank you, Sam. Man, music like this must make you really excited to read baseball scores. I know I'm pumped right now.
Absolutely.
We've got a 1-0 ball game here in Orleans. The wind is blowing.
I was going to say, the wind's about to blow all our papers off.
Jacob Toby and I'm Connor Federico here with you. Man, I can't get over this music. It's a lot of fun. Good choice, Matt. He'd say thank you if he had a microphone to talk. And now he's talking to himself.
Hey, the people hear his voice on the promos there.
Yes, that is the voice that it does not sound like it's coming out of a dark dungeon. That's Matthew Weasel Thayer, who recorded some brand new PSAs for us this morning at Wareham Community Television. Will Neely, he's going to deal to Stephen Scott here in the bottom of the 6th frame. In the bottom of the 5th, it was Brendan Riley, the 3-hitter, who's now for a 2-for-3 day with an RBI. He drove in Jimmy Herron. And that's why Orleans has a 1-0 lead. Will Neely out for his 3rd inning of work. He deals, and it's a swinging strike by Scott. Hasn't been seeming to be keeping able. I got to say that again. He hasn't seemed to keep up with the fastball from Neely in this at-bat.
It's looked strong so far. Got some zip on it. Quick release.
Neely deals, and this one's going to hit him. It's a 2nd hit by pitch in 2 innings for Will Neely. It's got to be frustrating when you're ahead on a count on a great hitter. You're just a pitch away from getting out of the at-bat, and then you hit him.
You let him go.
On first base.
Yeah, you let him go down to first, and it's a freebie all the way. And see if Stephen Scott can maybe steal a base here for the Firebirds with Austin, the 3rd baseman, up.
Ben Olsen is warming up in the bullpen. Possibly we're going to see him to replace Neely. Coming up to the plate is Cole Austin. He takes a ball low and away. He showed bunt, but brought it back. Coach Lawler also telling me before the game that we might be seeing Griffin Roberts tonight, new addition to the Wareham Gatemen, and we are really excited to see him pitch. Had a great year for Wake Forest. Throwing back to first is McIver on a pitch that was high to Austin, but the pitch was called a ball, and the call is safe at first base. So we're going to have a 2-0 count, real hitters count coming for Cole Austin, and he can be dangerous here in this 6-hole. He was an all Big 12 honorable mention this year for West Virginia. He shows bunt again and takes in the dirt. The count goes 3-0. All Big 12 honorable mention, West Virginia Mountaineer, and as a sophomore led West Virginia to its first NCAA tournament appearance since 1996. A year before I was born, Jacob Toby.
2 years then before me.
And this one is going to be a ball 4, and Austin's going to walk on down to first base. So 2 freebies coming out of the right arm of Will Neely. That's not what you like to see here in the bottom of the 6th when you're already down.
And Salazar's had a 2-for-2 day, so he's been swinging the bat really well. He's got runners at first and second. Here comes pitching coach Jim Lawler.
Timeout is called, and Lawler will step onto the field. He'll bring McIver with him. And it's always confusing for us when Jim Lawler goes out. Usually a pitching coach conversation is just that, a conversation, but sometimes Coach Lawler will just make the pitching changes himself.
Yeah, he just put his hands up like, hey, let's talk about this for a second. Let's settle it down. Let's talk about what we can do better. But yeah, we don't really know who's going to make the pitching changes. Will it be Snedden or Lawler? But it looks like Neely's going to stay in the game.
If your son is a pitcher for the Wareham Gatemen, you should be reassured that you have one of the best pitching coaches in all of the Cape Cod Baseball League, all of summer baseball, all of baseball, baby.
All of the country.
Yeah, Jim Lawler absolutely knows what he's doing, teaching these young pitchers how to work and also how to think about the game, where to throw these pitches and when.
Well, he was a pitcher back in his day.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be a pitcher to be a pitching coach. Imagine one of us trying to do it.
No.
So here is Cesar Salazar. He's going to show bunt. He gets it down, but it goes foul behind him. Salazar, a catcher for the Firebirds, and catchers do their fair bit of coaching to pitchers on the mound, calling the game themselves and trying to make pitchers think, why am I throwing this ball in this certain situation?
They're the captains out there.
Always knowing the defensive plays. McIver, he's getting ready for a bunt, and Will Neely throws high and outside.
What I like about McIver, though, he's quick to his feet. He gets from his crouching stance to his feet really fast. We saw the snap throw down to first base a couple plays ago, and he's just one of those athletic guys, and you love to have a catcher that's athletic.
Will Neely, the 1-1, deals. This ball is bunted foul, so now the bunt situation is off for Salazar, unless the Firebirds dugout really wants to risk something, which I
would not
doubt
do that.
they will, with 2 on and nobody out.
I would say that's pretty rare, right?
It happens from time to time, but I don't know why you would ever try to put a bunt down with 2 strikes, unless you know that you have a guy that has the experience and is a great bunter, like I was in high school, Jacob. That's the one thing you'll hear me say that I was good at as a high school baseball player, bunting. Neely deals. Cutting and missing is Salazar, and he will go down for the first strikeout of the inning. 1 out, 2 runners still on base.
Well, I'll be first to say that I wasn't good at anything in baseball. You were good at bunting. At least you were good at bunting. Man, that's why I got into this business.
So this will bring up Romy Gonzalez. We'll see if the Firebirds want him to bunt. After him is Jeff Hopi. He will not bunt. He'll keep the bat on his shoulder, and this one is called for a ball. Neely trying to work a curveball, low and away from the plate, but it just misses the strike zone. Gonzalez, 2 strikeouts today. 1 in the second was looking, 1 in the fourth was swinging. Neely could really use that right now. He looks over at second, but no one's watching the runner. He deals, and swinging and missing is Gonzalez. You can hear the pop of the glove from here. And
love that sound.
Man, there's a lot of velocity on Neely's pitches. Even though he doesn't throw as hard as Fioli, it's still someday major league caliber stuff. So Neely dealing. He's looking over at second. Swinging and missing again is Romy Gonzalez. He is way behind on that fastball. And sometimes, you know, if you're a coach in the Firebirds dugout, you might say to your guy, hey, get back in that batter's box. Romy Gonzalez is all the way back. There's nowhere else for him to go.
He was very, very late on that last pitch.
So we'll see if Neely goes fastball again, tries to change, and he will change, but still behind the changeup that time was Gonzalez, and he fouls it away. We're going to do the 1-2 again in just a bit.
Watch out if your car was up there. That foul ball was heading for the cars. That's why a wily veteran like myself parks way over in right field.
I did as well. I can see my car from here. It's just over the right field line. I think it would take about a 390-foot home run to hit me. Neely deals, and this is a fastball that is literally above the helmet of Gonzalez. So the count goes to 2-2.
It's real. Watch out for your car.
Oh, I know.
If you're coming here as a fan, if you're listening and you're saying, I'm going to go to a game soon, watch out, park far away. These guys hit a lot of foul balls.
Something we don't have to deal with at Clem Spillane Field. 2-2 pitch is just low, according to home plate umpire Mickey Garcia. He's been calling a good game tonight. Balls and strikes seem to be consistent. That's all you can ask for out of your umpire.
Just consistency. That's all.
The 3-2 is coming now. This pitch is critical. It's the difference between a strikeout and a walk to load the bases. Neely deals. This one swung on and hit. It's going to be a base hit. Fielding it is Topa, the left fielder. He'll throw into home, but the runner holds up at third. Third base coach for Orleans saying, man, we don't want to mess with John Topa right now. And the bases are going to load with 1 out. Jim Lawler is going to call time, and he's walking out to the mound right now. This could be the end for Will Neely. We might see Ben Olsen coming in.
Well, I could have sworn they were going to send Scott the runner, but they ended up not doing so.
So we're going to take a real quick break. It's still a 1-0 lead for the Orleans Firebirds, and they're threatening to get more against the Wareham Gatemen. We will be right back. Ben Olsen will take the mound. He's got a tough situation right now for the Wareham Gatemen. Bases loaded and 1 out. The batter at the plate is Jeff Hope. He's the 9 hitter, but don't let that fool you. He's hitting .300 coming into this game with 2 RBIs. He'd like to get a few more here for Orleans and possibly blow the lid off this game between the Firebirds and the Gatemen. He'll take strike 1 from Ben Olsen, the lefty from the Bradley Braves.
Well, he's a big boy, 6'6", 195. Big lefty.
So Will Neely's night is done. He has loaded the bases. All of the runs on the base paths right now are his responsibility, but Olsen doing a good job helping him out so far. He's worked an 0-2 count against this 9-hitter, but even if he gets through the 9-hitter, he's going to have to deal with the top of the lineup, Lars Nootbaar. He is 2 for 3 today with 2 singles.
You hope for a double play ball here to get you out of the inning, similar to that first double play ball where they went to home and then to first base.
Olsen with the 0-2 count. Will probably throw it low here. He does. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Picked out of the air by McIver, and that will be a strikeout. Bases loaded and 2 outs now. Ben Olsen just 1 out away from getting out of this bases loaded jam.
Well, you got to face Nootbaar. And we'll see what Nootbaar can do here. Still bases loaded, and now anything in the infield, if it's not close at first, go to home.
Nootbaar taking a good look at his bat now, hoping to will some magic out of it. Get a few runs across for the Firebirds right now. Ben Olsen hoping he'll do the opposite. He throws a curveball, trying to go low and away, but he hits the dirt. Ball, thankfully for the Gatemen, blocked by the catcher, McIver. Noah Zavalis is the next pitcher up in the bullpen for the Gatemen. Zavalis from Harvard. This is going to be a called strike just at the letters, at the high part of the strike zone of Nootbaar. Count goes 1-1. Nootbaar standing at 6'2", 205 pounds. He played for the Lacrosse Loggers of the Northwoods League last summer. He had 8 RBIs for the Loggers and would now like to push a couple across for the Firebirds. Swinging and missing. That's going to be strike 2. So Ben Olsen coming out of the bullpen, showing his stuff so far, and he is 1 really good pitch away from getting the Gatemen out of this jam and putting some life into this dugout.
It's also 1 pitch away from it turning the opposite way, and obviously you wanted to go with the first part, like you just said. 1 more strike and you're out. So make this pitch a good one.
Olsen from Des Moines, Iowa, with the ball in his hand. The 1-2. It is called a ball on the inside corner, trying to go front door curveball. The lefty on lefty battle here that always favors the pitcher. It didn't against Fioli. When Nootbaar was up, he had 2 singles off of him. So Ben Olsen trying to change that trend right now. Trying to make this a 2-for-4 night for Nootbaar instead of a 3-for-4 night. Nootbaar grounds this one just foul on a high chopper along the first base line. It was an off-speed pitch from Olsen, and he just got Nootbaar ahead of it, but just a couple more inches, and that would have been a strikeout instead.
Yeah, Nootbaar was upset that he even took a swing at that one. Banged his bat after it.
So McIver takes the sign from the dugout. Jim Lawler calling the pitches right now in this difficult situation. Olsen takes the sign. The 1-2 coming. Kicks, fires. Called, strike 3, outside corner. It's a curveball from Olsen, hit a 3rd straight curveball, and he gets Nootbaar down looking. So the Gatemen escape another bases-loaded jam with no runs given up. It's still a 1-0 game in favor of the Firebirds. You're listening to Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Cape Cod Baseball League is all about family, and it's all about fun. Friendly's is all about family and fun and is proud to sponsor the 2017 baseball season. Friendly's, life with extra sprinkles.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1991, holds over 600 events nationwide for players ages 8 through 18, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, plus 400 have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Curry College offers 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams in sports such as football, baseball, softball, basketball, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, tennis, cross country, and volleyball. Read about the success of the Curry Colonels and their championship teams. It's all online at www.curry.edu.
Welcome back to the studio here. I'm Sam Corman. Quick game update. Brewster and YD just tied at 7 out in Yarmouth with no lights there. But we're ready to start the top half of the 7th inning here in Orleans. Back to Connor.
Thank you, Sam. Coming up to the plate right now, Willie McIver after that short game break. Man, exciting action throughout the Cape Cod Baseball League tonight. We thank Sam for that update. Willie McIver stands in the top of the 7th here. McIver takes called ball 1, so the count will go to 1-1. After him will be Bonfield and then John Topa. Middle of this lineup looking to create some runs here in this game for the Wareham Gatemen. They're going to try to do it against Parker Kelly, out for his 2nd inning of work. The first time he was up in the top of the 6th. 2 strikeouts and a 1-2-3 inning as he went through Baird, Lockridge, and Dodson. Kelly always out of the stretch. He sets, fires, and this is a ball low. Or low, I think. I don't know where else that ball could have been, but it's 3-1 now. Noah Zavalis warming up in the bullpen for Wareham. Kelly's pitch. This one is grounded, high chopper down third base. McIver with speed. Third baseman picks it up, and Austin doesn't make a throw. McIver's going to get a leadoff infield single. The high chopper always works out when you've got speed, and that's exactly what happened right there.
All the way down first, hustling with his head down. You could see it. Nice job there from McIver.
Jacob, if I told you that this was the third straight hit, not the third straight hit, the third hit in this game total for the Gatemen, would you believe me?
I would, because I'm looking at my scorebook.
Here's a ball to Luke Bonfield. It's called a strike, and it's going to be an 0-1 count in the pitcher Kelly's favor. Of course, we do have our scorebook.
By student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation and positive support of the participants and officials. Profanity, racial or sexist comments, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from this ballpark.
Visit Stars Restaurant at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa for a world-class dining experience, a proud member of leading hotels of the world.
Well, I just got finished stretching. How about you? Connor Federico and Jacob Toby here with you on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Ben Olsen back for his 2nd inning of work. He's going to face the Firebirds lineup of Heron, Riley, and Stroshine. That's been the dangerous part of their order so far today here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Well, you take your sunglasses off quickly. I wait. You stretch. I don't. I don't stretch for the 7th inning. I'm sorry. I sit.
I mean, I just stretch in general. I got them sometimes. Oh, did you? All right, he's telling me that he already had them.
Yeah, he gave me one yesterday.
There's nothing like a baked quahog. As Brendan Riley takes a strike. Are you a quahog fan? Absolutely, he says. I love quahogs. Our sideline reporter, Claudia Chikamian, asking what that is. In fact, it's a clamshell that's stuffed with bread
did
and
she
other
just
things.
ask that? Oh, my.
Well, she doesn't come from around here. This is going to be a base hit up the middle for Brandon Riley. He might be getting a quahog after this game. He's having a good one so far. He has the only RBI in this game, and now he is 3 for 4. All 3 of his hits are singles.
We're talking food real quick before we get back to the game. There's such thing as fried clam chowder now.
What?
On Cape Cod.
Stop.
There is a restaurant in Yarmouth.
How do you fry soup?
The name escapes me. It is fried clam chowder. I know this because the TNT guys, when they had the game in Boston versus the Cavs, they had fried clam chowder on the pregame show.
Olsen, pickoff move over to first base.
It is in Yarmouth. The name escapes me. We will figure it out, but it is, I hear, amazing, and we should maybe making a trip there soon after one of our games in Yarmouth tennis.
I mean, we have to drive through there to get here.
That
Olsen tries to pick off Riley again. He had 10 stolen bases this year for the UNC Tar Heels. Fried clam chowder. So have you had it or not?
No, I need to, though.
Has Tom had it? Tom?
Don't believe so.
Oh, he has had it.
Oh, he has?
He's on his phone right now, and I have a feeling he's going to try to get a picture. Here's a fly ball. It's going to be in the Bermuda Triangle along right field. Diving and making the play. And the save.
From Bonfield.
A really outstanding play, and it'll make sure Brandon Riley sticks at first base. He was sort of hovering at 30 to 40 feet off first base. If Bonfield didn't have to dive for it, he would have had him easily at first base, but it always takes a bit of time to recover. Olsen steps off now. Man, all this talk about food's making me hungry. I can't wait till Tom Crane shows me this picture of fried clam chowder. Olsen looks at the runner, now deals to the plate. This is going to be a called strike to Stroshine. I'm sorry, to Steven Scott. Stroshine was the last batter who's 0 for 4, and Steven Scott is 0 for 2 today. He had a hit by pitch in the 6th, made it all the way to 3rd, but when Ben Olsen escaped that bases-loaded jam, he was not able to score. Olsen looks at first, deals towards the plate, and that ties up Scott. He swings at strike 2.
Yeah, Scott one of those two hitters that Neely pegged by and sent him down to first base.
Oh, man. I just got the picture of the fried clam chowder. If you're not at Cape Cod right now, you need to come here immediately because we're all going to go out for some of that after this. Here's a
Cape Cod to
It's Wareham Gatemen Baseball. It's in the top of the 8th inning, and you're listening to it on the Gatemen Baseball Network. I'm Connor Federico, joined by Jacob Toby, Claudia Jacamian, and Sam Corman throughout the night. Nate Fosnot bats now. He is in the 7-hole tonight for the Gatemen. He has a 1 for 2 day under his belt, and he's batting here to lead off the 8th inning. The one time he led off in this game was back in the 3rd, and he got a single. So Steven Passatempo, he's going to take over at first base for the Firebirds, and doing the pitching now is Josh Hyatt, the UNC Tar Heel. Hyatt deals a called strike, and the count will go 1-2, or 2-1 rather. The pitch is called a strike, and now the count goes even at 2-2. For Nate Fosnot on deck, Robbie Metz. After that, Ben Baird. And if those three could get something going, Brandon Lockridge and the top of the order up next. This ball is low and in the dirt, picked out by the catcher Salazar. and the count will go to 3-2. The 3-2 is swung on and hit straight into the defensive replacement, Steve Passatempo. It'll be the first out of the inning. Here comes Robbie Metz. On the
Yeah, so Passatempo goes into the game at first base, and then that'll bring Lars Nootbaar into left field, so that subs out Stroshine.
Okay, thank you for that update, Jacob. Critical to all of us scoring at home. Thank you for listening to Wareham Gatemen Baseball tonight. Robbie Metz takes a strike. Reminder, you're listening on YouTube right now, but you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and SoundCloud. Metz grounds one right back to the pitcher, Hyatt. He tosses it on to the first baseman, Passatempo, and that will be the second out of the inning. So, man, just like that, the Gatemen are down to their final 4 outs in this game. They got to get something going. They have no runs on the board today.
Yeah, and Ben Baird comes up, who has 2 strikeouts today, 0 for 2 effort, 4 Ks on the season, and more of a defensive guy, Ben Baird, but see if he can do something with 2 outs. But working with 2 outs is just really, really tough here on the Cape with all these star-studded pitchers.
Ben Baird takes a ball low. After him will be Brandon Lockridge if Baird can get on base here with 2 outs. Baird, 2 strikeouts today, both swinging. Hyatt deals. This is going to be low and inside. The count goes to 2-0. So no changes to the batting order or the defensive alignment so far for Coach Don Sneddon. We've had a couple of pitching changes tonight. Fioli started, Neely came in, and Olson is currently in the game as Ben Baird swings and misses on a low ball below his knees. So it's going to be 2-1 the count. Will Neely is the only one who gave up a run today for the Gatemen. And in this 1-0 game, usually if your pitchers can hold the opposing team to 1 run, that's a ball game you're going to win. But the Gatemen really struggling right now as Ben Baird takes a fastball that just clips the outside corner, and the count goes to 2-2.
When we talk about Tristan Pape coming in from Kentucky, I think he makes this offense so much better, and it'll just make the lineup even stronger when he gets here from Kentucky, as time is called at the plate. But yeah, you get a guy like Pompey, and he can really swing the bat. You talked about it before. He's in the home run derby, and the Gatemen need every bat they can get right now.
The 2-2 to Baird. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And that'll do it. It's another 1-2-3 inning, and the Gatemen go down. They're down to their final 3 outs with a 1-run deficit. But the pitchers need to keep it a 1-run deficit in the bottom of the 8th. You're listening to Wareham Gatemen Baseball, Gatemen Baseball Network.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 17 seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for top-notch baseball training. With over 600 events nationwide for players age 8 to 18 and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
It's back. The 2017 Friendlies Cape League All-Star Game will be played at Spillane Field, home of the Wareham Gatemen. Mark the date on your calendar, Saturday, July 22nd. Game time is 6 p.m., but the gates open at 2 p.m. One highlight will be the home run hitting contest. There will also be an autograph session and a large merchandise village with items from many of the teams. Be sure to buy your tickets now right here at the merchandise stand. Tickets are just $5, and part of the proceeds will support our Wareham Gatemen.
For the first time in this summer of 2017, Griffin
go all the way, but you never know what can happen.
Oregon State only with 4 losses this year. Incredible stuff, as you mentioned in the pregame show, as Salazar takes outside, the lefty batter facing the righty Roberts. Fioli was a lefty, Neely a righty, Olson was a lefty, and now the righty Roberts up to pitch. Roberts steals, and this is going to be a base hit along the left field line by Salazar. Rounding second and staying put is the runner Austin, and it's going to be first and second, nobody out for Roberts.
Salazar smoked that one out to left field, no doubt about it. And first and second, no outs. This is a big spot here for Roberts in his debut. Coming in, letting 2 runners on, and he's got to face Gonzalez here, who singled back in the 6th. Watch out. Work your pitches, settle down here. I'm sure that's what Jim Lawler is going to tell him.
Roberts steals. This is going to be a bunt, but it's popped up in the air. It's fielded by Baird. He throws across his body in time on a first base. And covering the bag was Robbie Metz. An outstanding play, and it's going to be ruled a 5-4, and the out is at first base.
Wow, did I love that defensive play from Baird coming in from third. He picked that one up so quick, gunned it down to first. Robbie Metz was covering. Nice job there from the Gatemen infield to communicate, because that could have been disastrous right there. That could have loaded the bases.
Not all good news, though, for the Gatemen. Gonzalez is retired, but now there's runners in scoring position, 2 of them. Austin on third, Salazar on second. The batter is Jeff Hopeby. Hopeby, the 9-hitter. He's 0 for 4 today. He lays down a bunt. It's a suicide squeeze. It's going to work. The run will score, and Roberts flips on a first for the second out of the inning. The Orleans Firebirds have a 2-0 lead.
Well, Hopeby did exactly what Kelly Nicholson, head coach of Orleans, wanted him to do, and that was lay down the sac bunt. He does so. Coming around to score is Austin, and they add that insurance run. It's now 2-0. It's still not out of the question for Wareham to come back and score 2 runs in the next half inning, but
moving to third on the play is Cesar Salazar. If you just heard a screaming behind us,
that was
man
a car
in the passenger seat of a truck just came by and yelled his brains out. Here's a chopper right back to the pitcher. Throwing it low in the dirt is Roberts, but making the scoop out of the grass is Sable. Wow, Blake Sable just saves another run for the Wareham Gatemen. It's going to be 1 run on 1 hit and no errors. 1 man left on base. We're going to move to the top of the 9th. The Gatemen have to get 2 runs to tie and 3 runs to take the lead. You're listening to Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Registration is now open for the 2017 Wareham Gatemen High School Clinics. These programs are run by the Gatemen coaching staff with a focus on exposing high school area players to the college game. To sign up for either the hitting, pitching, or catching camps, visit www.gatemen.org for more information.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day, like their hand-breaded crispy fish tacos with cilantro lime rice. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
All-Star Game weekend starts with a celebrity softball game on July 21st at McKeon Park in Hyannis. Come watch Jason Varitek, Bill Lee, Nancy Kerrigan, Scott Zolak, and other celebrities play ball in support of the Cape Cod Baseball League and Spalding Rehabilitation Hospital of Cape Cod. Gates open at 4 p.m. For more information and to buy tickets, go to allstarcapecod.org. That's allstarcapecod.org.
Inning number 9. It all comes down to this on the Gatemen Baseball Network. I'm Connor Federico, joined by Jacob Toby. A beautiful night for baseball here at Eldridge Park, and it's been a good Orleans Firebirds. For the Gatemen Bats, not so much.
Not so much, but Orleans here at Eldridge Park, one of my favorite parks.
Josh Hyatt deals, and it's going to be called for a ball to Brandon Lockridge. The Gatemen have their top of the order coming up right now, and if they don't push 2 runs across, it's going to be the end of the game, and the Orleans Firebirds will tie the Wareham Gatemen for the worst record in the league at 2-5. That's not what you want to see happen to these Gatemen.
And the first 3 hitters in the Wareham lineup are 1 for 8 combined with a walk, so that's not what you want to see either.
Lockridge takes, and this one's going to be called outside, so the count goes 2-1. After Lockridge will be Dodson, McIver, and Bonfield if we get to that point. Lockridge, this one's hit softly to the shortstop, picking it up, throwing in time is Hopi, and that will be the first out of the inning. The Gatemen are down to their final 2 batters. Good pitch right there by Hyatt. He pitches a low 2-seam fastball, and that's exactly what happens when you swing at one of those. You're going to ground out somewhere.
Another ground out for the Gatemen. It seems that that's been the case all night long. Love to get a final tally of those ground outs.
Hyatt out of the windup. He deals, and this is going to be a called strike to Tanner Dodson, who's hitting on the left side of the plate again. This is going to be his second time hitting from the left. From the right side, he went 0 for 2. From the left, he's 0 for 1. Dodson swinging the bat around now. The 0-1 is inside, almost hits him, and the count goes to 1-1.
7 ground outs, 1 double play ball. Not what you're looking for if you're a Wareham hitter tonight.
After Dodson, McIver is on deck. He has the Gatemen's lone home run this year. This is called a ball, and the count will go 2-1 now to Dodson. Not one swing is going to change this ball game right now. The Gatemen have to find a way to get the runner on base. Here's the 2-1 from Hyatt. This is a called ball outside. Before the game, Orleans broadcaster Tyler Aki telling me that Josh Hyatt is effectively the Orleans closer this season. They only have 1 win on the year, so they haven't been seen closing situations very often. But this is a situation right now as Hyatt walks Tanner Dodson. He throws the bat, goes right down to first base, and the Gatemen are in business. The tying run is at the plate right now. It's Willie McIver, who's been one of the clutch hitters this year.
Yeah, that's who you want at the plate. If it's anyone on this team, either Topa or McIver, with this situation right now, McIver's got the speed, so he can turn maybe a single into a double if it's hitting in a spot in the outfield, and Dodson has speed as well.
Dodson is not the runner that matters. The one that does is at the plate. It's Willie McIver. He takes a called strike. McIver today, strikeout looking in the first, a single but caught stealing in the fourth, and another single in the seventh. He's been good. He has a 2 for 3 day right now. Hyatt out of the stretch. He looks, deals, and this is going to be called strike 2, much to the happiness of the Orleans crowd. The count quickly 0-2 on Willie McIver. Always a tough situation when you have hitters that are down in the counts. It's going to be 0-2 coming from number 2 in white, Josh Hyatt. Here's the pitch. Snap throw back to first base from Salazar is not in time. Passatempo put the tag down, but it just was a little bit late. Dodson, thankfully for the Gatemen, sliding back in safely.
Well, that Brewster-Yarmouth-Dennis game is now officially over. They had to end it 7-7 tie. No lights at Red Wilson Field in Yarmouth.
This is a ball down low, so the count will go 2-2. How many innings did that one go?
That one, we'll check in a moment. That one went 9.
Oh,
They
wow.
couldn't get them all.
Okay. Well, when that many runs are scored, it's definitely going to eat up some time.
Yeah, 3:18 that duration.
Here's a stroke. It's going to be a base hit along the right field line for McIver. Rounding second and staying there is Dodson. It's a broken bat base hit over the first baseman Passatempo's head, and the Gatemen have the tying run at first base. And Luke Bonfield, your cleanup hitter, he has something to prove to this Gatemen team right now. He's been batting fifth. Now he gets the call at the cleanup spot tonight. He has to get something going right here if the Gatemen want to come back.
Well, if you talk about placement, nice placement there from McIver, slicing down the right field line, puts it in play over the first baseman's head. Yes, Bonfield still looking for his first hit. A great time would be right now with runners at first and second.
So Willie McIver has a 3 for 4 day to his name. He continues to be one of the top performers for the Gatemen. Here's a ball low to Bonfield. It skips in the dirt, but blocked by Salazar. The tying run in a 2-0 ball game resides on first base right now. We're taking about A 5 to 6 foot lead is MacGyver. On second base is Dodson. This is going to be a called strike to Luke Bonfield, wearing number 5 in blue, facing number 2 in white, Josh Hyatt. An SEC-ACC battle on the mound. It's the UNC Tar Heel Hyatt. At the plate, it's the Arkansas Razorback Bonfield. This is a swinging strike. Weak swing from Bonfield after he saw that it was a off-speed pitch, but Hyatt threw it right in the strike zone anyway. Hyatt will be a redshirt sophomore next year at UNC. So 2 strikes now on Bonfield. Looking to get something going. Breaking ball, front door, doesn't work. Wow, a very close pitch that started nearly at eye level and in the batter's box towards Bonfield. It ended up almost clipping the inside part of the plate, and it just doesn't get there. Bonfield with 2 strikes against him. Hyatt, the pitch. Foul tip in the glove of Salazar, and Bonfield will go down swinging. It's a strikeout. Bonfield has an 0 for 4 day. And bring up John Topa, who's been clutch in the past in just 6 games so far for the Gatemen. Topa's someone that the Gatemen have found out that they can rely on, and they need to right here. The tying run's on first base, and you need to find a way to get Dodson and MacGyver to the plate.
Oh, I'd have loved to see the velocity on that last pitch from Hyatt. Just blew the fastball right by Bonfield. And like you said, Topa, this will be the chance.
Hyatt deals. This is a called ball inside. Hyatt's been locating that inside fastball very well today in his an inning and 2/3 of work so far.
Topa, 6-game hitting streak on the line right now.
He's got to get one here. It would help both himself and the Gatemen. He takes a ball. It's going to be called for a strike. Topa exchanging some words with Mickey Garcia, and I have to be one to agree with him. The ball looked a bit high above the letters of Topa, but the count goes to 1-1 regardless of what either of us thinks. The umpire has really the only say. Hyatt taking his signs. He's 1 out away from winning the Firebirds' 2nd game of the season. He pitches a ball outside, and the count will go 2-1 in Topa's favor. Topa from Portsmouth, Rhode Island. Doesn't go to school too far away in Yukon in Storrs, Connecticut. Doesn't play summer ball too far away in Wareham, Massachusetts. He takes another ball outside. Count goes to 3-1. So Hyatt 1 pitch away, Jacob, from loading the bases.
1 pitch away from loading the bases. It's a nice hitter's count here from Topa. I'd expect fastball. Be a risky move if it wasn't a fastball. And you look to drive this one if you are John Topa.
Topa has an extra base hit to his name this season. He calls time right now. Gotta love when hitters do that. Disrupt with the pitcher's timing just a bit. Make sure your head is screwed on straight. And get ready to drive a baseball, because that's really what the Gatemen need from Topa right now. The 2-2 from Hyatt. Swung on and fouled off. Topa was late, but he's lucky to still be in this at-bat. That could have been easily a strikeout.
Yes, it could have, but he's still alive, and that's the only thing that matters to him right now. Gatemen have a chance.